Rachel, Raquel, and Joe Wenberg have officially gone rogue, and we have to talk about it. Let's get started. Grab a beverage.
If you like what you see, come and get it with me. I know you deserve all you want, 'cause your heart's made of gold, but don't wait till you're old. If you want it, I get you some.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, stand-up comedian and Vanderpumprules and Bravo Television superfan Joleen Lunzer here. And today we are going to be roasting and recapping the Raquel Leviss podcast, Rachel Goes Rogue, that came out today. And on today's episode, she interviewed Joe Wenberg, her friend, I guess, a pretty good friend, it appeared. Teddy's here with his squeaky toy. So if you hear squeakies, it's just the wonderful sound of my dog, Happy. It'll just be a little sound effect. And we are going to listen to some of it, provide commentary and comedy. We roast, we recap. If it's your first time here, just know that we try to take a comedic look at all these things. I'm very opinionated, but you're welcome to have your opinion, even if it's different than mine, in the live chat or the comment section after the video post, and we can agree to disagree and have a good time. All right. Don't forget to smash that like. You guys have been killing it with the like, so thank you so much. And subscribe. We are very, very, very close to 37,000, which is exciting. Teddy is really, I might have to take the squeak toy out. Let me know if you guys can hear the squeakies. So we're very close to 37,000. If you want to support the channel further than liking or subscribing, you can always send a super chat while we're live. I will highlight your comment. We'll talk about it. You can send a super thanks after the video post. Shout out to those of you. You guys have been killing it with the super chats and the super thanks. I got some very generous super thanks after my last video. 44 seconds ago, Jamie gave me a super chat. Thank you, Jamie Rohana. I got a super chat from McHoya. Thank you so much for the very generous super chat. Very kind of you. I know I had another super chat here, or super thanks, I should say. And now it's not showing. Oh no, I know I had another one. Let me see if I can find it here. Because I definitely want you guys to know I appreciate. Okay, Teddy, that's a lot of squeakies. We love you so much. But we might have to take the squeakies outside. Oh, he threw the toy. He might be over it. I doubt it. But and Law Chick 2027. Thank you for the super thanks. And starting off the chat with the first two super chats, DM. Thank you so much for the super sticker. And Chickenhead PK Neely. Let's roast them. All right, you guys. So grab your favorite beverage. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some laughs. We're gonna critique the things, dissect it, talk about it. It is like a group therapy session over here. We can commiserate and have a good time. I have a little thing on my neck. This is fun. Happy Thursday night. Thought I'd go live later for those of you who can't always catch me during the day. And sometimes I just work better later. Okay. Right, Barbara? We love Teddy. Teddy's so sweet. Oh, Teddy, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. Are you done with your toy? Okay. So let me pull up the Rachel Raquel podcast that we can listen to, and we'll hear some rumors and nastiness.
Where's Meredith Marks when I need her?
The rumors, the nastiness, the rumors, the nastiness. You want me to go there with her husband? I can go there. You can leave.
You can leave. Where did Buffy go? Oh, that was good. Oh, she's right behind me. Okay, I always have to make sure because sometimes she might sneak away and not tell me when she's got a piddle. And we just took a walk, but you never know when they got a little extra pee-pee in them. Okay, you guys? All right, let me turn on my fan here. And so this is Rachel Raquel. If you've never been to my channel before, we do roast and recap some episodes of her podcast. Some are better than others. This one was particularly good. I haven't listened to the whole thing, but I did listen to part of it, and I provided some commentary on my Instagram and my TikTok. So if you're not following me there, feel free to check that out and go follow me at Joleen Lunzer on Instagram and TikTok, and at No Offense, All Offense as well. And I was like, wow. So we're just coming off of the episode this week. All right. Thank you, Steven. Choo choo. Yes, Katie. Run that train through Schwartz's life. We're just coming off Tuesday night's episode where Tom Schwartz was he just embarrassed Joe. He did what Schwartz does in his passive aggressive, oh shucks way. He led her to believe they're in a relationship. Well, Joe went on Rachel Raquel's podcast, and she had a lot more to say about this situation. She had a lot to say about the ladies too of Vanderpump and all the bullying. And part of the podcast seemed to be like a victim off between Rachel Raquel and Joe. But the parts where she was talking about Schwartz were particularly interesting. I mean, I am not very interested in her blaming the women, because at this point, why are the women even fighting? All right. Whatever Lala's doing, we're taking a break from her today. The only thing I will tell you is she did unfollow Ariana and Katie on Instagram. Girl, and you know what Ariana was doing when she did that? Ariana was signing another deal. She was making another money move, not talking about freaking Lala. I think she did like a shoe deal with DSW or something. Let me pull it up here, and was posting it. It's like, oh my God, Lala. This is really, unfortunately, all she has. Lala keeps teasing us that she did this project that was super fun. And the reason she unfollowed them was because she met so many people on this new secret project that we just can't know about yet. And she had an odd number of people she was following. So the two that hit the cutting room floor were Ariana and Katie. Just tell us you don't like them because you're jealous and you're now a production pet and you're selling your soul and you're jealous. Just tell us that, because this whole odd number of followers thing just isn't, it's not working. It's not, we don't believe it. Okay. If you're gonna be boom, boom, Lauren from Utah, then be boom, boom, 10 toes down, Lauren from Utah. Be, like the kids say it with your whole chest. Yes. The DSW. So that's what Ariana's doing, while Lala is on Amazon Live, talking about how she unfollowed Ariana and Katie. And it's just, I mean, Lala is just at this point fighting with herself, because Katie's not fighting with her. Katie's busy. She's doing podcasts. She's dating people. She's hanging out with her real friends. And then Ariana is just making money moves. She's like, I don't talk shit. I make money moves. So it's embarrassing, Lala. I'm embarrassed for you. I really am. And I don't want to be, but I am. Okay. So that's the only thing we'll say about Lala. Other than that, we'll get into this. Joe and Rachel Raquel. Zesty, thank you so much for the super chat. Says Schwartz is too yeasty for words. Oh my God, not yeasty. Schwartz is too yeasty for words. Oh my goodness. He too could stand to get heftily chiseled as well. Oh my God, heftily. I like this. He needs a lesson, learn a lesson. Thank you guys. These hats are from my friend Jason Webb, and you can actually buy them. He has all these cool, he's a comedian, and he's very hilarious, and he's a Southern comedian. So for those of you who get mad when I do my Brittany accent, it's just me being silly. I actually love Southerners. They're some of my favorite friends. One of my favorite cities is Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. And that's pretty Southern, but you can go to tshirtlabel.com and get your own Enjoying the Process hat. And there's all kinds. Let me drop it in the chat, and I'll also put it in the description after the fact. If you want to go get a hat, an Enjoying the Process hat, that is where you can go. You go to T-shirt, that's spelt out tshirtlabel.com, and you can get your own. So thank you. I get a lot of compliments when I wear this hat out, and they're so comfy, and they're just like the cool trucker hat, but not like Ashton Kutcher creepy. They're actually like really nice and foamy, and I like the font and such. So go to tshirtlabel.com if you are interested in buying a hat. He's not paying me. He sent me and Hype Man Husband Shell, because he's our friend, a hat. And I was like, I love these hats. I'm going to talk about them on my channel. And I just keep forgetting, but I wear the hat all the time. Okay. So let's get into this episode. Let's fast forward through the ads. We're just going to play the audio, and then we'll have some pictures up, because that's the easiest way to share it. And I think we'll probably speed it up a little bit. We definitely want to do fair use. Also, Rachel Raquel, if you do want to check out her podcast, you can just go to anywhere you listen to podcasts, and you can search Rachel Goes Rogue. And that's where you can find her. Under Rachel, it's just Rachel Goes Rogue. But I like to I wish she would have named it Rachel Goes Rogie. All right. So let's start listening to this podcast.
To learn more.
Oh, and we are, like I said, we are coming off the episode on Tuesday where Jo Wenberg claimed that she didn't know about the affair, even though she went on double dates and a double date trip to Big Bear with Sandoval and Rachel, but she didn't know about it. She thought Ariana and Tom were broken up, even though she just spent Thanksgiving at their house. She said she never asked any questions, but her and Rachel appear to be pretty good friends. So I spy some lies. It's like it's been enough time just to say it. Say it, don't spray it. Okay. At this point, I mean, the lying is, I think, what's pissing people off more than anything. Okay. So let's pull up a picture of the two of them. Here is them just being, just loving each other. Rachel Wenberg and what's her name? Jo Wenberg and Rachel Raquel Levis. Let's get started. Okay, we're doing it at 1.25 because it's an hour long, you guys.
Please, I have gotten involved with Tom Schwartz, and now you have had a bigger role on season 11 of Vanderpumprules.
Yes.
For a while, from that circle of folk. This is your host, Rachel Savannah
Okay.
Levis.
Let me know if you can hear this.
I have Jo from Vanderpumprules joining me today. One of the few people that I still keep in contact from that circle of friends that I was so involved in. So please welcome Jo. Hi. The first thing I want to ask you, because you've kind of been around this friend group for a while.
Thank you,
we know
Stephen.
you were friends with Kristen and have gotten involved with Tom Schwartz. And now you have had a bigger role on season 11 of Vanderpumprules.
Yes.
What is it like watching yourself back on TV?
It's watching myself back on TV, like being behind the scenes and be behind the camera doing hair for some of the cast was easy. And then being in front of the camera was also easy because I was honest and I just didn't have any inhibitions.
Because last year, did you make a few appearances? Like, was it a very minimal?
No, last year was the moment where Schwartz came home from something that you guys were filming, and the pizza was burning, and then
That's right.
we called it Pizzagate. Me and Schwartzy called it Pizzagate, and the camera crew came in, and I
Right.
was staying at his place.
Yeah.
And I was about to leave the next day, and they came in and they saw and they recorded me leaving.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm out of here. Following that, it turned into who's Jo? Who's Jo? Who's Jo? Who's Jo? And
Right.
Schwartz and I were dating, and we tried to keep it like under wraps
Totally.
because like it wasn't a negative thing. It was more of we were looking to see how we were going to purposefully get to a place at our own time, Schwartz and I, in our own time to like talk about our relationship. So yeah, I got into this by being asked before to be on the show. And then finally I said, yeah, I want to tell my story. I was sick of being silent and I was sick of everyone else writing my narratives.
Okay. It's a lot. All right. So she was caught living with Schwartz, staying with Schwartz, whatever, dating Schwartz. Last season, we saw glimpses of this woman, and we had heard about her from, Kristen Doty and such. And we had heard that Tom Schwartz had a woman living with him. And we had heard it was this Jo lady who used to be friends with Kristen and Ariana and a little bit of Katie. And then just like disappeared from all of her girlfriend relationships and just ditched them all. And this is what we heard, and was dating Schwartz. And Katie obviously didn't like it because she had just texted Katie like, I'm so sorry about your breakup. I love you. I love you. I love you. And then the more that was coming out about Scandival, it was like, oh my God, this woman was with Rachel Raquel all through Scandival, like hanging out with the Toms and Rachel. And we saw Jo, if you go to Sheena's vlogs, I mean, you guys, I can pull up the receipts. I mean, Jo and Rachel were always together and they were at these concerts together. And sometimes Ariana would be there and the affair was going on. And it appeared Jo knew, and obviously Rachel Raquel knew because she was getting, So I'm pretty sure she knew she was having the affair with Sandoval. And then Ariana would show up and just be like, hey girls, hey guys. And they'd be like, and so fake to her. There's one video in particular that I remember where they're at the front of the stage at one of his shows, and it's Jo and Rachel Raquel just like slimy operators. And then here comes Ariana, and they're like, and Jo does her thing she does, which we've seen now, watching her on this many episodes of this season, where she's like, oh my God, I'm so happy you're here. And it's like, But you guys are lying to her face. You cannot tell me that you drunken, mushroomed fools hanging out with the drunken mushroom fools, Toms, did not see this. Like, there's no way they were that slick Rick about it. Okay. So then Joe says, so then I everyone was asking, who's Joe? Who's Joe? And I felt silenced. Well, who silenced you? Who silenced you? Was it Tom Schwartz? Because it was probably Tom Schwartz. I don't think the ladies on the cast silenced you. You said production. You haven't mentioned production silencing you. So it was Schwartz? Was it Sandoval? Like, who? Okay, so now she's like, I had to get my voice out there. Girl, we could have lived. No offense, all offense, Joe. I could have lived without knowing your story. Honest to blog. Honest to God. I could have lived my whole life never knowing how you hooked up with Schwartz. Knowing that, unfortunately, you were probably just going to be another victim of his, because this is what he does. The way he treated you is how he treats women. We saw it happen to Katie for years and years. He disregarded her, disrespected her, cheated on her, played it down, made her into the bad guy. He's going to do the same to you. It's already starting. He said, I don't think I want a relationship. I'm misleading. And guess what? He's in a relationship. But you know what? Who's in a relationship with? A baby. This lady. She's like 23 years old. She graduated from college 2 years ago. Schwartz is literally old enough to be her dad. So he didn't want a relationship with you, but he wants a relationship with this girl. She's literally just out of her teens. That's who he's dating. This is his girlfriend. He went on Access Hollywood, I think, today. I have a clip of that. And he was gushing about this. So I think her name is Sophia. He's like, oh my God, she's so charismatic and she's amazing and all these things. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Here we go. So again, as we listen to how much anger Joe still has for the women on the cast. Baby girl, that is misplaced. We have to get that back on Tom. Tom is the one who hurt you. Tom is the one who put you in this situation. Well, you as well. And I found out Joe's age is 35. Baby girl, I hate to break it to you, but these are LA baby men. Okay. 35 is dead to them. This was a relationship he was hiding. And I hate that for you. I do. No matter what, I don't think Joe deserved this. I don't think anyone deserves this. I don't think anyone deserves to be treated the way the Toms treat women. Hell no. I still think that Joe moved in a snaky, slimy way into this position and tried to be the cool girl and the pick-me, and that never works. And we've talked about it. But I still don't think anyone deserves to be embarrassed like this. And I think Tom Schwartz is, despite being this, oh, shucks, he is emotionally aware enough and smart enough to know that Joe is someone you can clearly tell has low self-esteem and someone who was very, very, gregarious. He said, Lucy, she's so gregarious. And you could clearly tell, like we all can, that Joe doesn't have the highest self-esteem and that he could probably, take advantage of her, which it appears that's what he did. Again, my opinion, you're welcome to your opinion in the chat. Everything I say is true, except for the parts that are false. Everything's alleged for entertainment purposes only. But this is the deal. This guy just embarrassed you on national television, was like, I just don't want a relationship. Then meets a 23-year-old. He's like 50. Okay, I know he's like 41 or 42, but he's like 50. He's 62 years old. And he's like, oh, but now you don't understand. It's just like this 23-year-old, she's so gregarious and she's so great and she's so amazing. And she's just, And listen to how Joe still romanticizes this relationship throughout this episode. It's a lot, okay? Jen Knoll, thank you so much for the super chat. Jen says, off topic, but why does all of Tom's paid friends look like it's a who's who of a local Kmart? First of all, Jen, do not insult Kmart like that, okay? This is clearly a Wally World situation. This is a Walmart wall fall apart. But no, honestly, like Jason with the laptop boner, yeah, we know about him. Yes. In LA, Jacqueline, 35 is 83. 35, they already had your funeral, ma'am. You don't even know it yet. That's how it works. Oh, okay. Let's keep listening. She had to tell her story.
I finally said, let's go. Mm-hmm. 2 scenes to 15 episodes to 6 confessionals to the reunion to the finale later.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you think that it was like more than you initially thought that you were going to be involved?
Yes. However, the journey was easy for me with production and with the crew. What wasn't easy for me was the cast.
Let's talk about that. It's just imprinted in my mind now, watching it back and seeing that play out at Hotel Ziggy, where the girls are just, low-key harassing you for no reason. And Sheena, for some reason, has like this huge issue with you wearing a hat.
Issue with me wearing a hat.
Huge.
So what the heck was that all about?
Great question. I walked in there excited to be a part of what Schwartz and I had already decided to go to together. So we were excited to go support.
Girl, are you sure that you and Schwartz decided to go to this together, or did you just say I'm going? And Schwartz is such a baby man that he was like, and he just didn't tell you the truth that he didn't want you to go. Are you sure? Because we saw how it went down with the couples thing that you guys went to, the shindig.
And also, to be honest with you, I kind of wanted to see what Hotel Ziggy was all about.
Yeah.
And getting there, you can see at the bar, Schwartz and I are absolutely fine. We're bantering, we're doing our own thing. And then what made me really upset was, you see me starting to plug my ears after about 5 minutes that go by, and I'm thinking, what's going on? And that was right after Sheena had tried to take my hat off.
Yeah.
Which it's not okay.
It's not okay.
Huge boundary violation.
It's huge.
And I didn't know how to react to it either, because I've never had that ever happen to me before. I've never had somebody walk up to me and be like, listen, all of my hairstylist friends and I, we wear hats at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So when we're all done doing things
at the end of the day, I love LA speech, because sometimes I do this too, because you live in LA long enough and you start talking like this. At the end of the day, it was a huge violation. Now, I am an advocate for don't touch me. Don't touch me. If I didn't tell you to touch me, don't you touch me. But listening to these two go, oh my God. Well, and Rachel Raquel, she's like, well, Sheena clearly has boundary issues because she punched me. And Sheena's like, I can't make a fist. You guys, oh my God, I literally cannot make a fist. It's like impossible for me to do that, to take your hat off. I can't do it.
We're all done working. Our absolutely number one thing we do is we put a hat on, or we put a headband on, or we just kind of like whip our hair up in a ponytail. I didn't have any idea why that was such an issue. Looking back now and seeing that episode, I felt pretty violated, to be honest. And like, I felt uncomfortable, and you can see me feeling very uncomfortable. And then it's kind of like, hey, Sheena, nice to meet you. And then you tell me to take off my hat.
You mean that's the first time you met Sheena? Wait a minute. But you went to Ariana's for Thanksgiving, but that's the first time you met Sheena? It couldn't have been the first time she met Sheena. Hey, Sheena, nice to meet you. You were one of Kristen Doute's besties. You were at Rachel, or you were at freaking Ariana. Joe, what is happening with these stories? And I think Sheena, she shouldn't have been grabbing on your hat. That was like, I don't like that either. Don't touch me if I tell you not to touch me, or if I don't invite you, don't touch me. But you showed up in a Tom Tom hat in a time when Tom Tom is like a bad word. You might as well have shown up in a Schwartz and Sandy's t-shirt to match, girl. Read the room.
No one wants to ever have somebody take off an article of clothing that's either like a hat, or like, what if she was like, oh yeah, your shoes are, I don't know. I mean, and then they take it away from me. I mean, what if I had like a greasy head? I'm so grateful that I had braids on, but like,
not a greasy head.
I've been mocked on national television. Yeah. I mean,
Rachel McCall's like, yeah. What if I had like a greasy head? I would be like mocked on national television. Oh, look, I have a greasy head. I lived. I mean, it's, you guys, seriously, I don't want to bring the vibes down, but I am so tired of listening to these privileged reality show adults talk about somehow they're bullied when real bullying occurs. And I saw the most heinous video, I'm not even going to tell you the details, on TMZ about a woman who works with special needs with special needs children who are nonverbal, and we'll leave it there. She's supposed to be taking care of them. She wasn't. And I like, that's how I started my morning. And I was like bawling my eyes out, because to think, okay, I don't want to bring the vibe, but what pisses me off is when they start please stop. Perspective, please. Just I know you live in LA and things are warped and you think you're the center of the universe. Indeed, you're not. But there are real victims of bullying and stuff. And some drunk bitch taking off your hat is not it. It's not it. It's not it. It was uncomfy. Yeah, 35 years old. You've had an uncomfortable encounter. Extremely privileged. Like, calm your boner, okay? Ugh.
It was, Yeah.
I mean, you were mocked on national
I
television.
was mocked on national television, and let's talk about that. I still don't know why.
The only person that mocked you is Tom Schwartz. He made you look stupid. And he said that he loved you. And then when the cameras turned on, he was like, I don't even know you. What's your name again? But yet, we're not holding him accountable. And she was mocked. By who? By what? By how?
Because I'm just a part of Tom Schwartz's life? Is it because I don't know?
I
don't know.
My theory
Yeah.
is that you aren't this cookie cutter influencer type personality that prioritizes the show that is Vanderpump Rules.
Yes.
And for you,
I have a life outside of the show.
yeah, you had a
Are you
whole
sure?
day working, and this
Yes.
is at the end of the day,
Yes.
and you just wanted to throw on a baseball cap and be comfy.
Yes.
And to them,
Yes.
this is their
Yes.
job.
Yes.
Power to the people. Womanhood. Yes. Oh my God. Get a real cause. Get a real problem. I just wanted to wear a hat and go to the reality show that was paying me to be on there, but then complain when people have criticisms of me on the reality show or people fight with me on a reality show because that's what reality shows are. Yes, I just wanted to show up with my boyfriend who I met through some friends when they were going through a divorce and then stopped talking to those friends. I just want to show up in my boyfriend's, well, my secret boyfriend's, but I know he's my boyfriend, but he pretends he's not my boyfriend, hat for his business to this event with all of these women who are mad at me. And I just wanted to be in peace. Oh God.
Great point.
This is them clocking in,
Great point.
glam, hair, makeup to the nines, dressed like to kill.
Oh, I would dream of that. I pull up and I just, I don't have that.
Well, I feel like
You work in the beauty industry. All of my friends or people I know who are hairstylists, they can make themselves look so beautiful and other people look beautiful. And they know other people who make people look beautiful. How do you not have that? That's a choice and that's okay. Maybe that's just not you and your style and you don't have to be that way. And Rachel is a beauty queen telling you this. And Maria Gonzalez makes the best point. She says, I feel like Rachel thinks she's a whole therapist. Oh, she definitely thinks she's a therapist. She went to that place in Tucson, Tucson, and got a little bit of therapy. And now she's like, tell me more about that. I guarantee Rachel's going to be like, I think I'm going to go into therapy because Lala said I couldn't.
priorities are different. Like,
Our priorities are different.
yeah, you prioritize your actual career, which is hairstyling. And this is just a side thing that you're doing because you felt compelled to show up for this season.
I knew I wanted to speak my truth because last season season 10 was a lot of chitter chatter in the background and I was never able to really talk. So then I thought, finally, I'm going to just at some point, screw the silence of Joe because that did not work. It didn't work for me to be quiet. And then I thought, well, maybe
It worked for me. I loved it. I think you're doing yourself a disservice by being on this victim tour. I say, if you start cutting Schwartz at the balls right now, call his ass out. All the ladies will run to them, be like, hey, Joe, what's up, girl? Hey, girl, what's up? But coming in as a pick-me, going against the women, and then making excuses for this man baby who's causing all your problems. I mean, just an idea, girl. Just an idea.
I'll go the opposite direction and I might start talking. And when they came to me and said, do you want to do a couple scenes? I said, yeah, because everything else was not working.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't able to get my voice heard. I wasn't able to speak on behalf of myself, and I wasn't able to, because I said no, I didn't want to film season 10.
Mm-hmm.
Season 11 comes around and I wanted to be able to have a voice in front of a microphone.
Here's what I wonder. Okay. I have a little theory. She says, I didn't want to do season 10, but then we find out she needed this place to stay. And that's how she ends up at Schwartz's. And we know this through Kristen Doty, and we'll hear this. She'll talk about this. So was Joe having some financial issues? She says she was going from an apartment to a house, but she couldn't set up anywhere for herself to stay as a 35-year-old woman. So she had to move in with this guy that she's kind of friends with, but secretly wants to bone. When Kristen Doty says, I live right by Tom Schwartz and I had a 2-bedroom and Luke wasn't even living with me at the time and she could have stayed there, but she didn't. So did you want to share your thoughts or did you need a little cash, girl? It's okay.
In front of an audience and do the opposite of what season 10 was. So going back and looking at being quiet and not talking and just sticking to my routine, or finally being in a place where I'm going to start just showing the world who I am. I'm going to just try both. Okay, so here I go. I start showing the world who I am, and I get ripped. And I can't believe you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
100%.
And I'm so grateful that I have people like you, and I have people in my family and friend group that have gotten me through.
But just so you know, Joe, if you do get a serious relationship, you definitely want to be on the lookout with Rachel Raquel, because she's got a history now, allegedly. Okay? I mean, you got with Schwartz in a snaky way, but hers was real snaky with her friend. So I know you're like, I'm so lucky to have you, until you get a man, until you get someone you love, and then you better be like this on her. You better lose her number. No offense, all offense, okay? Rachel Raquel, we can all change. God bless. I hope you can. But Joe, I'm just saying.
That, but it's very interesting to see the reactions from people, even with you as well, where you don't speak, you're ripped. Yeah, you speak.
You're ripped.
You're ripped. Yeah.
Ripped.
Same thing. Yeah, same thing.
My heart goes out to you.
My heart goes out to you.
My heart goes out to us having to listen to you two. My heart goes out to all of us. These two are like a victim circle jerk, a circle jerk of victimhood, if you will.
No, big time. Like I could
Like 4 months behind you. I know. Yeah.
I can really.
It's like Raquel leaves, and then Joe comes in. They're like, "Well, we'll just treat Joe like Raquel."
Yeah, you're the new
Like, my
Raquel
God.
this season. It seems like they just want somebody to annihilate because they're so angry.
Angry, or something along the lines of just some type of I don't want to say projection or.
The first part's really hard to listen to. Once we get to the Schwartz stuff, it gets a little better, sort of. But it's just like these two women acting like, I don't know why people don't like me. I don't know why these women don't like me. I can give you 10 reasons off the top of my head why they don't like you, and why they have good reasons to not enjoy your presence, and why you need to earn your spot either back in the group, which Rachel Raquel, I don't think you ever will, or in the group in general. The fact that they're like, I don't know. Like, it's so weird. They just want to like blame us. Like, I became the new Raquel. It's so weird. I don't know, because you were her accomplice in the scandal. And you, okay, let's keep going.
Or something like that, because I don't know them well enough to know them or like them or hate them or not. But they think that they know me enough to hate me. And I absolutely don't understand that. If you know me enough, and if you know me well, then I'm okay with criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, yeah, totally fine. But if you don't know me, you don't know me enough to hate me.
Yeah.
Or even, well, I'll take the likes, I'll take the happiness, I'll take the kind people that like me. But if you don't know me enough, like with you as well, too, it's like, you don't know me enough, you can't hate on me.
Yeah.
And then put it on an international/national platform.
Okay. This is why you can't be on reality television, because when you put yourself on a platform like this, even me at this tiny level that I'm at here on the YouTubes, there's going to be people that don't like me. There are people that don't like me. I don't get to say, you can't not like me. You can't say, I don't enjoy Joleen Lunzer's content. I don't enjoy her. I think she's weird. I think she's this, that. You can't say that because you don't know me. Yes, they can. Whatever you're putting out, people can say, they're going to have an opinion of whatever you're putting out in the world. Some people are going to walk in and just not like you based on their own stereotypes and biases that they carry. And sometimes it's going to be that you move shady within a friend group and you put men before women. You literally were out there yelling, I love Tom Sandoval, at a point where all these women were like, no, he hurt us. And you think they're going to like you? I mean, but you'll take the likes. I'll take the likes. You can't take the likes without some of it's subjective. You're never going to please. Not everyone's going to like you. They shouldn't like you. If everyone likes you, you are shitty and you stand for nothing. And it's just impossible. And if you try to get that, you're going to be, you're going to just waste your whole life trying to get everyone to like you. Some people have bad taste. That's what I like to say. But sometimes, you're just not for everyone. You're not supposed to be for everyone. And the fact that she's like, I'll take the likes. And here's another little fact. She says, if you don't know me, then you can't talk. You can't not like me. Well, Kristen knew you. You said you knew Kristen. You guys were real good friends. And she has a lot to say. But you're going to say, well, Kristen, and act like she shouldn't be saying anything. But you said, we cannot like you, or people cannot like you if they know you. Kristen knew you and she don't like you. Katie knew you. She don't like you. Ariana knew you. I don't think Ariana likes you. I wouldn't like you either. If you were on the sly, smiling my face and then behind my back, hanging out with my boyfriend and his mistress, I wouldn't like you either. I don't like those kind of moves. Those are dirty. Oh, lady.
And have your little minions and like your followers just
thank you, Amy.
Rip apart someone.
Yeah, that's what I have an issue with. Just seeing how, because each cast member has their fan base and they are kind of like, I've just seen how it plays out. A lot of fans will follow what the cast members are saying about somebody else.
Correct.
So I feel like it's very unfair
You're so right.
that some of the cast, like Katie, has been saying Joe's a crackhead.
Correct.
And
Use
then-
your platform for something positive. You have a
Mhm.
platform. You're so lucky. Go the opposite direction, like what you're doing.
Yeah.
But crackhead,
Wow.
It's not okay. Well, because first of all, it's insulting to people.
First of all, it's insulting to crackheads, to real live crackheads. Justice for the crackheads. Okay, ma'am. I know you guys watch my show. No, they don't. But Joe, you were the first person to make that joke about yourself in 2019. We've pulled up the receipts a million times. Do we have to do it again? I guess we do. In 2019, you were making these jokes on your Instagram, which leads me to believe if you would make these jokes on a public platform where anyone could see it, and all of your friends and all of your family, and even if you're and when you opened up your platform or your Instagram, then everyone else could see it as well. That leads me to believe that was kind of a fun, ongoing joke of yours. So if you put that into the world, then other people might use that. And if you're just constantly, I can see her being like, I just have crackhead energy. I'm a crackhead. If you do that, then that invites other people to say that about you. It's like a self-deprecating joke you were making about yourself. But now you can't use that and be on some victimhood, tour of like, they called me a crackhead. Here's you, December 8th, 2019. Picture of yourself, present day at the time, and picture of you as an adorable younger person. And it says, Joe, my gosh, that's you on Instagram. And it says, so I'm not a crackhead. I just always make the same face. So are you making fun of crackheads here? It's like, again, we're opening up this door where now you guys are saying you're making fun of crackheads. Well, you're making fun of crackheads and you're calling yourself a crackhead. You're saying your face looks like a crackhead. You're making it seem like crackhead is funny. But now crackhead can't be funny. Crackhead can't be any. It's just like, this is cuckoo. You ladies are cuckoo. Okay? Get smart to yourself. Like my grandpa used to say, you made the joke first. I guarantee you probably said it once upon a time. You've had this self-deprecating thing. Maybe it's because you have ADHD. Me, myself, as an ADHD person, I often talk about my energy and different things like that. Some of it might be a defense mechanism. Some of it might not be. Some of it is just who I am. I consider myself a very weird, fun Aquarius chick. And I just, hear the beat of a different drummer. I think that's what my mom always said about me. And that's okay. But if you're putting that out into the world, people might say that. Okay. So the crackhead thing, whatever else she said, okay, fine. Oh, how mean. Oh, God, stop it, Katie. No. But the crackhead thing, you said it. Stop. Ugh.
Who have ADHD? Number one, it's
not insulting to me. And I got ADHD. Did you do a poll of all the ADHDers? Let's hear it again. Rachel Raquel, the therapist, said it's insulting to all people with ADHD. Not me. I got ADHD. I got the Vyvanse. I got all the stuff. I'm not insulted.
You're so lucky. Go the opposite direction, like what you're doing.
Yeah.
But crackhead,
Wow.
It's not okay. Well, because first of all, it's insulting to people who have ADHD.
number one.
It's neurodiversity. And then to make that assumption on national
Rachel was like, oh, what's the word? It's neurodiversity. I did good. Yeah. Yeah, we're neurodiversity. And Lala probably doesn't know what neurodiversity is. And nobody knew about your ADHD until you brought it up. You're just walking around waving the ADHD flag. Are you going to be the spokesperson for ADHD now? I mean, girl.
television and perpetuate that type
When
of,
I don't even actually, sorry, go ahead.
when you don't even actually do any substances at all.
Nothing.
Oh,
I've never,
gosh.
ever. And
yeah,
then
it's damaging to somebody.
very much so.
Because now people are asking.
Well, if it's damaging that Katie called you a crackhead, you should probably stop calling yourself a crackhead on your Instagram. You should probably think about that. If it's this damaging and you're not going to get a job, salon's not going to hire you, if it's this damaging and we're all just victims, we should probably stop saying it about ourselves and putting it out on social media and saying you're not a crackhead. You just make the face of a crackhead. So don't say it about yourself because it's dangerous. These poor
Question
crackheads.
about my mental health. And then she's making it an open book to have anybody else on their podcast to talk about Joe's mental health.
Right.
It's a massive question. And I don't understand,
No, I didn't want to talk about your mental health. You can. I think it's great when people are advocates for their own mental health or talk about it, but good Lord. It is virtue signaling. That is what they're doing exactly. But they're failing miserably. No, they're succeeding at virtue signaling. But, oh, God, gross.
why it shouldn't just be between me and my doctor or me and my parents or just me.
Well,
Who's allowed to do? I'm not going to go on television. You know, it's like, yeah.
Well, speaking on that too, because Kristen
Yes,
has
that was
spoken
messed up.
Kristen has spoken about you on her podcast.
Yes.
And I know you guys have a history of friendship.
We did have a history of friendship.
And she's kind of painting this picture that you are an unhinged person that can't handle people coming over to your apartment and you just like freak out. I mean, it's probably so frustrating.
It's very frustrating to have somebody diagnose me.
Did she just say it's frustrating? Oh, I love Rachel Raquel. Oh my God. And Lala is probably really frustrating. I'm frustrated.
Doesn't talk to me for 3+ years.
Right.
We do not need to talk about
Wait,
that. You know,
she
if
said she never wants to talk about Kristen, which I find so interesting because Joe seems to want to talk about everything else, but not Kristen. What happened with Kristen? Kristen will say, you know, she will talk about it, but Joe will briefly, but she doesn't want to get into the specifics. And that to me makes me think she's guilty. It just does. That's just my perception of it. So let's listen real quick again. I know I missed some super chats, you guys. I'll get to those. I apologize.
People coming over to your apartment and you just like freak out. I mean, it's probably so frustrating.
It's very frustrating to have somebody diagnose me who hasn't talked to me for 3+ years.
Right.
We do not need to talk about that. You know, if anything, if I had a mental health situation, she consciously wants to hurt me, basically, by pushing me forward. Let's say I was really, really, really low. You're going to go and talk about me on an international platform on your podcast. What good is going to come up from that? That is something that we have to discuss because I cannot even in my mind believe that somebody else who is not my friend, not my doctor, not my mom, not my dad, not you, not anybody that's close to me can go on a podcast and talk about I'm banned from restaurants. The words that came out of her mouth on that
She
podcast.
said you had social anxiety.
Social anxiety, even though I was an extrovert and I wasn't capable of something along the lines of just basically diagnosing my mental health, which,
Right.
hey, everybody, no one's allowed to do that but your doctor, and you're not allowed to talk about that unless you want to talk about that.
You know who you should tell that to? Your best friend, the Toms, because the Toms do that all the time, and you advocate for him. You say, I love Sandoval. He's so great, such a great person. Well, he's out in Rachel Raquel's mental health and diagnosing her, and also Ariana, alleging all these things, like these self-harm allegations that Ariana say are not true. And if it is true or if it isn't true, it doesn't matter. He shouldn't be talking about it. You should tell him that because you really like him. You look up to him. You should focus on that. That's way more important.
And the last person that should talk about that is a person that doesn't even know you. So let's talk about the fact that that should be number one that hurt me the most. And I feel like that's relatable because a lot of people are going through a lot of mental everything. No one's perfect, but everyone is perfect. I'm imperfect, which basically stands for I'm perfect. I'm space perfect. But I just don't think that at the end of the day, you know, Raquel, if you want.
Oh no, we're not doing this. Choose happy, live, laugh, love bullshit. Is this chick for real? Imperfect is like I'm perfect. That is, girl, you're handing them to us. You are just alley-oop. What, you know, it's like layups. I am no, not these daily cliched affirmations. That is not what we're here to do. Oh my God, I'm
Get me on this
perfect.
podcast to talk about my mental health. You would call me and be like, hey, can we talk about this? You would ask me first and I would say yes. Yeah. There is no way that I would ever have somebody that I don't know. Like, what gives you that right?
I think it's also
I'm on
like,
a tangent.
No. I mean, you're on topic. You're totally on topic because like they, you know, it seems like every single cast member has a podcast and you're over here without any type of platform, which is why I thought it was so important to have you come on here.
I was not going to go on any other podcast besides you or Billy Lee's. Billy Lee's is so fun. I was like, I felt safe with you.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of people that have reached out to me to do podcasts and they were
In my safe space. Reality TV does not have a safe space. I'm just telling you, Joe, it just doesn't. Yes. Girl, this is not for you. This is not for you.
just no way.
Yeah.
Besides yours.
Yeah. And
You're so right.
I wanted to give you, you know,
And
this
you're
platform.
So I really appreciate
Maybe
that.
tomorrow.
It
Tomorrow.
has not been easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet.
Well, look at you. You're like, yeah, but I feel bad that you haven't had the easiest time either.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I haven't, but
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm coming out the other end. I feel like I'm finally like.
Rachel, did you just say you're coming out the other end? I think it's the other side. If you're coming out the other end, that's like the asshole or the mouth, and depending where you started. I love how Rachel Raquel was just like, oh, me? Oh, I'm young and I'm hot and I don't care. I don't have any remorse, really. Not really. I'm suing them both for revenge porn. So I'm good. I'm so good. I'm coming out the other end. Oh my god, you guys. Is this supposed to be so funny? Or is it just me, or is this hilarious?
We're finally
I'm 4 months behind you.
cruising. Like,
Yes,
I don't
we're like,
I don't care anymore.
166, let's
Like,
go.
keep
Chicago to
talking
LA.
about keep talking about me. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Which is weird that they still talk about.
But you
that's
know
weird.
why? It's because I have this platform
Yeah.
to be able to speak.
And you're doing it in a positive, productive way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh yes, because all the shit talking they are doing is positive and productive, but anybody else's shit talking is not. The only time I would say Rachel's platform is positive and productive is when she is dragging Tom. Just keep dragging him. When she said on one of her episodes, she was like, Tom, you know why Tom's always crying up against a wall? Because he's not really crying. He's not a good actor. That's why he failed at acting. And I was like, get him, Rachel. Other than that, okay. I think she had like a therapist on one time. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I just wanted to say, because a lot of people get confused on like the Raquel Rachel situation, and people are like, oh, if she says Raquel, then it's insulting and blah, 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 blah. Okay. I just want to clear this up because I
Oh,
feel
thank God.
comfortable with Joe calling me
Yes.
Raquel because
Okay.
Or I'll call her Racket. I love my little racketeer.
she has known me as Raquel for so
Yes.
long.
Yes.
And now I'm introducing myself to new people as Rachel. So like the new friendships that I'm forming, I know as a Rachel dynamic. And when people refer to me as Raquel, like talking about even me talking
Tomorrow,
about my past
Barb.
self
Tomorrow.
last season, I refer to myself as Raquel. So I don't take offense at all, just to clear that up. So
You are dead naming Rachel. All right. That's what you're doing here, Miss Joe. Oh my God. These two want to be offended. They like legit want to be offended. There are so many ways to like offend, and they're not getting offended. Like no one is like legitimately offending them. So they're just like making up ways. Okay. Just so you know, I could be offended, but she's not offending me by calling me the name that I went by most of my life because I changed it when I was young because there was another girl named Raquel and I liked it better than Rachel. Okay. So she can do that. It doesn't hurt. But when other people do it, like my new friends, it's going to hurt. It's definitely going to hurt. Chicken Head, thank you so much for the super chat. Chicken Head says, I spit out my drinking, laughing about it, coming out the wrong end. I mean, I was like, Rachel, no. Rachel, what are you saying? Chicken Head, I missed this super chat. Let me read through some of these and then we'll get right back into it. PK Neely, Chicken Head PK Neely says, we love you because you are doing God's work by doing this review. The Lord's work. Thank you, Chicken Head. Pamela, thank you for the super sticker. Mtronic says, I'm still baffled that Rachel has this pod. And thank you so much for these recaps because they're so fun and such a break from the tedious weeks. Oh, that's nice of you. You are so welcome. Chicken Head, spit out your drink. That was so sweet. And I think we saw Amy Seeks a Truth. Thank you for coming in with a super sticker. All right, let's keep listening to the victim off. Soon it'll get to Schwartz. Not soon enough.
backtrack a little.
Okay.
So with the mean girl energy, was that like only when cameras were rolling, or did that like trickle into real life?
It trickled into real life. The mean girl energy, I'll say this, really only stemmed from Katie.
Oh,
Lala was very kind to me.
oh.
I did not have a lot of, connections or, contacts with anybody else besides, Schwartzy, T-Money as I call him. Filming though, Lala was really, really nice.
Just the fact that you call him T-Money and he calls you Joseph is friend zoned. Like that's the definition of friend zoned. These hideous nicknames. I love a nickname. These are just bad. And the fact that she's saying, Lala, it was so fun hanging out with her. We went to the Wiener place one time and secretly behind the camera, she was like, Katie sucks. Is Lala setting Joe up for this? Did Lala do this? Is this what's happening? Because we know Joe got in trouble recently. Rachel Raquel on her last podcast had to come clean and say, I told Joe on her stories on Instagram to share a picture of Katie and Dina at the iHeart Awards and a picture of me because they were listed as worst dressed and I was listed as best dressed. And I admit, after doing it and after the world seeing it on an international platform, that it was petty. But Lala would have done it too. Okay? And then Joe reposted that on her story. And I just have a feeling somewhere Lala is behind this on an Instagram live directing these ladies, allegedly.
The mean girl energy started when I started dating. I'm going to be honest. When Tom Schwartz and I started dating, and it mostly came from Katie and then Kristen. And I decided that I wanted to lean into Tom Schwartz, and he was there for me for a lot of that, and he was very protective and
oh, girl, she leaned into him and she leaned back on him.
As one should be. He's a very good friend. And then it trickled into them being confused that I would film. Unbeknownst to them, they didn't know that I was only asked to do 2 scenes. And then it turned into the whole season, which, again, production was very nice to me. The most hate I got was from the cast. So the mean girl energy has still not stopped.
Okay, so the guy that just embarrassed you on national television and led you on and you said you were dating, and then in front of your face, he was like, I'm going to kiss this girl. Get away from me. Quit counting my hats. I have 72 more in storage. Made you cry. That's your best friend? That's your good friend? But the girls are bad? Okay, cool. Chickenhead, thank you for the super chat. Chickenhead says, I call him teabags. I mean, that's better. My husband in the chat, stop being so cute, Jillian. I can't help it. Child, this is all I do, and I do it well. Shout out to Hype and Husband Chill.
It's every day. It's consistent. It's been 2+ years of certain people having followers.
Whoa. We gotta listen to that again. She's saying every day I'm bullied, every day I'm hustling. Okay, what's happening? Okay.
And then it trickled into them being confused that I would film. Unbeknownst to them, they didn't know that I was only asked to do 2 scenes. And then it turned into the whole season, which, again, production was very nice to me. The most hate I got was from the cast. So the mean girl energy has still not stopped. Mm-hmm. It's every day. It's
every day
consistent. It's been 2+ years of certain people.
Girl, we just heard about you. How can this be every day for 2 years? What? Is she saying the cast members? Okay.
Having followers. I believe it's all social media based because I had a different situation than you did. I really did not have a hard time with production or the crew. I had a hard time with the cast.
Oh, God.
And only certain people. And most of them were so lovely. But when it came down to it, the way that I was treated was, and still is treated, is beyond. I mean, you walk up to somebody in a restaurant and for me, I like to say hi to somebody if I know them or have seen them before.
Yeah.
It would be a hard turn the cheek, move away, call me a rat girl.
Rat girl?
You don't want to be affiliated with somebody that doesn't want to be affiliated with you. So you just move energy towards something else. And that's why I started to plug my ears at Hotel Ziggy, because I couldn't believe I was hearing things that I didn't want to hear.
Wow.
The meanness, the anger, the aggression, it's still.
Oh my God. We need a rumors and nastiness break. She couldn't deal with it. The rumors.
Where's Meredith Marks when I need her?
The rumors, the nastiness, the rumors, the nastiness. You want me to go there with her husband? I can go there. You can leave.
You can leave. She hated it. The meanness, the nastiness.
And that's why I started to plug my ears at Hotel Ziggy, because I couldn't believe I was hearing things that I didn't want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
The meanness, the anger, the aggression, it's still not stopping.
Oh, no.
I will say, though, the people that were nice to me from day one are still nice to me right now. So that's a beautiful thing. I don't know Lala, but she was very nice to me. I know Tom Schwartz, I know Tom Sandoval, but and Allie James and Sheena and Brock and like, it's just like Katie and Ariana were not nice to me, and they don't even know me. So again, I'll say this: like, if you don't know me enough to like me, you don't know me enough to hate me. Mm-hmm. Like, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
And I think the meanness from Katie came from the fact that she just did not want Schwartz to date anybody. It would be like a tree. If Schwartz was dating a tree, she'd chop it down.
Yeah.
So
for sure. It's a good analogy, really.
Schwartz totally would date a tree. And he would break its heart. And he would lead it on. And he would fuck another tree while he was fucking that tree. He definitely would do that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Noted here some of the names that they've called you.
Oh, we're going to have the names. It's like when Rachel Raquel was at the reunion. And then she comes back and she's like, they said the most horrible things to me. Those were words. You had sex with your friend's significant other in her house, in her bed, while she was mourning people. You lied to her face. You carried on an affair for months and months. So if someone says F you with a cheese grater, those are just words. Grater. Those are just words.
So we've got a couple.
Can't wait
wonderful.
for this list.
Okay.
I already talked to Joe about this
Yes,
beforehand.
yes,
about,
I'm-
like springing this on her.
Yes, because we're very PC. We don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. All right. Even each other's. I've already asked Joe. Joe, can I tell you these horrible names you were called? I feel like Rachel Raquel she likes to say low key getting off on dragging Joe in this live. And it goes on and on and on, where she says things and I'm like, she's dragging Joe. Well, so thank you, Rachel Raquel. I'm sure Joe wants to be reminded of all the bad names she's been called. Okay, let's hear it.
No, she's not. Raquel, I'm really happy you're actually bringing this to light because it's something that needs to be addressed.
Okay.
So I feel so glad that you're doing this. Thank you.
So
Yes,
blessed.
okay,
Hashtag
here are
blessed.
some of them. Joe is a crackhead,
Mm,
crazy,
okay.
rat girl,
Mhm.
sociopath,
Mhm.
a fucking liar,
Yeah.
sloppy Joe,
Yeah.
spooky,
Oh.
psycho. How? I mean, I don't even know what question.
Oh my God. If someone called me spooky, I would be so happy because spooky season is my favorite. And I have an Instagram account that I post to during spooky season and it's Pumpkin Spice Nightmare Girl. And I would love that. Psycho, yeah, why not? Who cares? Let's see, what crackhead? You called yourself that. What was the other ones? Let's listen to it one more time because they seem to really love this. She's like, thank you so much for sharing that because then I can use this as a reason why I'm a victim.
Here are some of them.
Okay.
Joe is a crackhead,
Mm,
crazy,
Mm.
rat girl,
rat girl.
sociopath, a fucking liar, sloppy Joe, spooky, psycho. How? I mean, I don't even know what question to ask after reading that list
You're not wrong.
because it's like so wrong in so many ways.
Yeah. Each one individually is incorrect. Like
Yes.
it is wrong. I just look at my
Very wrong.
little sister and I look at my little brother and I look at
Oh, here we
my
go.
friends who have kids and
Here
I
we
look
go.
at the fact that
Joe's going to start her. I believe the children are the future. Teach them well and don't call them spooky. Let them know that I am not a crackhead. Give them a sense of psycho. I'm not crazy. I'm chasing 5-year-olds down the street to tell them about my reality TV beef. The greatest victim of all. Okay, I can't hit that note. Of all. Girl, now we're going to bring in your friends' kids. What do they have to do with it? They don't care if you get called spooky. Stop. Oh my God, you're 35. Oh, goodness.
they look up to me, right?
They look,
And so
5-year-olds are looking up to you. Okay, girl, that's not age appropriate.
sorry.
Oh, she's going to cry. Stop. Oh, God, this is like so, it's cringe. Joe, please. This is forced. This seems like produced. Okay, I'm gonna listen to it without stopping. I had to stop. Because she's like, okay. There are children out there who will hear this and they look up to me. Joe, oh my God. What were you thinking about that? When you were just like ditching all your girlfriends to bone Schwartz? Why aren't you saying this for what Schwartz did to you? Because they're not going to hear that stuff unless they're on Instagram following you and Katie Maloney. They're not going to hear about that. None of the kids are following Vanderpumprules unless you show them, which I worry that you might. Now, what they might see is Tom Schwartz treating you so badly. But you said that he is one of your bestest friends. You love him. You wish him only happiness. He's perfect. Okay.
Sister and I look at my little brother and I look at my friends who have kids and I
Okay.
look at the fact that they look up to me, right?
Thank you, Heidi.
And so sorry, one second.
Sorry.
Sorry. Okay.
It's okay.
Unless it's on Roblox, these kids are not going to see it. Okay. I got a niece and nephew too. I got lots of nieces, lots of nephews, older, younger, not older than me, obviously. Well, it could be, but they're not. But that is possible. I know people have that. Unless it's on Roblox, they're not seeing it. Unless it's on Minecraft, they don't give a shit. You obviously don't know these children. They are not. Oh my gosh. Kim Kardashian has more of a case than you do because her shit actually ended up on Roblox. The PORN stuff. But girl, stop.
You can feel your emotions.
You
It's a
can-
safe place.
Oh my God, I can't. But it's never been a safe place for Ariana to feel her emotions. She's judged constantly. Katie can't have an emotion. She can't have anger. She can't have any of it. But Rachel just said, you can feel your emotions. It's a safe place. Oh my God. Go volunteer. Go deal with people who are actually dealing with stuff. This is all, you all created this. This mess that you're in, Rachel, Raquel, and Joe, is self-created. You created this mess yourself. You have to clean it up.
Wrong in so many ways.
Ugh.
Yeah. Each one individually is incorrect. Like it is wrong. I just look at my little sister and I look at my little brother and I look at my friends who have kids and I look at the fact that they look up to me, right? And so, sorry, one second. Sorry. Okay.
It's okay. You can feel your emotions. It's a safe place.
Okay. So if you break it down, the people who are saying these things don't know about me or my family, and they don't even ask questions about anything about me. Sorry. Okay. Just trying to break this down. They don't, and by they, I mean these women that have platforms. And by platforms, I mean millions of followers and podcasts. And
Clearly, it's affected you in, I think, ways that maybe the viewer doesn't quite realize, like what we're consuming and accepting as normal. Because we're talking about a real human being.
yeah, people say that I signed up for this, and like, sure, I signed up for exactly what I did, but I didn't sign up for other people's actions. I signed up for my own actions. Production didn't do this to me. The crew didn't do this to me. It's the people on the cast that really, really hurt me, and I just can't believe that I'm 35 going through this. That's really messed up that I'm 35 going through this.
Yeah, and these are 40-year-old women.
Exactly. I don't know. Get a hobby.
First of all, Lala is not 40. Ariana's not yet 40. I think she's 39. Katie's not yet 40. Sheena's not 40. And Rachel with the age shaming. Oh my God. Oh my God, Rachel. You're supposed to be better than that. You're not supposed to be like me. You're supposed to be better than that, girl. They're 40. Yeah, get a hobby. Also, 35 is like basically 40. No offense, all offense. But I was 35 once. And I know at the time you're like, oh my God, it's so far. I'm not 40. But it's not. It's 5 years. Barely. Oh God, these ladies. These two. She went quick. She did that Sandoval like she was crying, and then she just snapped right back out of it.
I can teach you how to crochet. I mean, it's just, I'm 35.
I mean, they're still petty and they're still mean. They want to pretend they're like these super nice ladies, but they're not. They're still being petty or still being mean. You like to mess around with your friend's man. Either when they're with them or right after they break up and you send a text, I'm so sorry, I love you so much, Justin Bieber loves you. P.S. I'm banging Schwartz. JK, I'm never talking to you again.
Actions. Production didn't do this to me. The crew didn't.
And notice how she's like, production didn't do this to me. The crew didn't do this to me because she wants to stay on the show. And Rachel Raquel's probably like, that's not, and that's actually, you need some proof that with Bethany, because in reality reckoning, production did do that to you. And they probably served you too much alcohol. So okay, I'll let this one pass. Because Lala, I wouldn't let her do it, but I can let you. So Rachel Raquel's whole argument is that production is the devil. And then here comes Joe. It's not production. It's not production. It's the ladies on the show. It's not Tom Schwartz who embarrasses me and lied to me and misled me and led me on and all the things. No. Production's awesome. Tom Schwartz is awesome. It's definitely Katie. Katie is like the devil to Joe.
Do this to me. It's the people on the cast that really, really hurt me, and I just can't believe that I'm 35 going through this.
Oh God.
That's really messed up that I'm 35 going through this.
Yeah, and these are 40-year-old women.
Exactly. I don't know. Get a hobby. I can teach you how to crochet. I mean,
It's just, you do make nice blankets.
I do. I made Raquel a really cute white blanket and I crocheted it. No, that's a really good question. Yeah. So at the end of the day, sometimes you don't really get to have the final say, whether or not you want to have the final say. I would have loved to have the final say on so many things regarding what they would say about me that was inaccurate, incorrect. I just wasn't in that platform arena to have that. So what they're going to do is they're going to make me look like the bad guy and make them look like the good guy because they're able to delegate my narrative, or they're able to like speak on exactly who I am. And it's not the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only person that's done that is Tom Schwartz. He's trying to make himself look like, oh golly gee, I think she was a little too into me. Oops, oh god, I probably should have caught that, but I didn't. But it's because of her, because she's golly gee darn whiz. I just whizzed my pants. She caught feelings. Oh god, I feel so bad. I'm gonna go date this 23-year-old, even though I told her I can't have a relationship. The only person who did that to you is Tom Schwartz, girl. Oh my god.
I mean, we're going through very
Whoa,
similar.
it was heavy. Ah, I felt that.
Joe just went, oh, that was heavy. That was like the antithesis of heavy. That wasn't heavy. That was light. That was air. That was sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Joe, you cannot be on the show. You can't hack it. I'm sorry. This is nothing in the large scheme of things. This is drama you brought with you. This isn't people just creating narratives about you. The only one trying to create a narrative and spin it like he's the good guy is Tom Schwartz. Katie's not trying to say she's the good guy. She's just like, I don't like her. She moves weird. She texts me one day. She's so sorry about my separation. And then she's moving in and boning my ex-husband. And we're supposed to be cool. Like what? Girl code. Girl code.
Good. You're doing great. Thank you for being vulnerable.
Oh,
I mean, this is the thing too, like talking about this, and unfortunately it is on such a large platform.
And when you say get a hobby, Ariana is really busy right now. She's like booked and busy. Katie's everyone's very busy. It's great that you crochet. Love it, girl. Get an Etsy, sell it. But yeah, that's not like the read I think that they thought it was going to be. Okay.
Form like the
Yes.
audience that is viewing.
yes.
So talking about this is cathartic.
It's so cathartic.
So
I'm so
cathartic.
grateful, Raquel, that you have me on this podcast because
Yeah.
I'm able to feel free. I'm able to feel safe. And I'm also able to know that you'll call me out when I need to be called out, but you also tell me the most wonderful advice when I need it. You know, like we are there for each other.
Yeah.
Supportive.
Yeah.
And let's use our platforms for that instead of negativity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Toxic positivity. Even when we're assholes and we do bad things, let's still be positive. No one can hold us accountable. I hate that. We have like a culture of that, I feel like, where people are just like toxic positivity. Like you can never have a negative emotions. And all throughout the day, we're human beings. We're going to have a wide array of emotions. Okay. But these people who are like, no. And they're just not processing anything they're going through. And Joe is just a prime example of that. I don't want to feel bad. I don't want to feel negative. But eventually everything, it'll come out. Your body, a therapist told me that once upon a time, you could push it down. And then one day you're sitting at your desk and you got a hive this big on your face. And that happened to yours truly because you got to feel it. You got to be positive. It's a positive platform that it's impossible to be positive 24/7. And also what you're doing right now, it isn't positive. It's actually pretty negative. And there's a target to what you're saying. You know, you're targeting these women. So, oh, goodness. Oh, then we got ads. Hey guys, we're advertising on Rachel Raquel's podcast. Would you like to come on and have Rachel therapize you? She was at therapy for like 2 weeks, maybe 2 months. All right. Do you want to learn how not to bang Tom Sandoval? Whatever his name is, join us Tuesdays. Also, get a tummy. What are those things called? That waist trainer. Have you had your latest waist trainer? This is Rachel Raquel telling you should train your waist, you fat bitches. Woman power. Bye.
You don't really have him as a great support system.
I do not anymore. No, in this moment, I do.
It's so hard, like going through this reality TV experience, and
Yeah, I'm
especially not
following
having,
in your footsteps. Sorry, but
yeah, not having anyone. And now I kind of know your relationship status with Schwartz right now.
Yeah,
And
you do know my relationship status with Schwartz because I've talked to you about it.
Yeah. You don't really have him as a great support system.
I
in
do
this
not
moment.
anymore. No, in this moment, I do not. Correct. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. And I think that's from your choosing.
It's from both of Tom Schwartz, who I call T-Money, and my also.
I don't think it was from her choosing. We saw the episode where he was like, I want to like, you know, F you on the DL. I'm going to have sex on the DL, but I don't want to date you. I don't want a girlfriend. I'm waiting on a very fantastic, gregarious 23-year-old who I could be the father of. I'm not sure yet. Okay.
Choosing. I think that, you know, we don't talk anymore, and we're going to do a little bit of a boundary situation. And That doesn't mean that we might not talk in the future, but for right now, it doesn't mean that I don't miss him. It doesn't mean that he doesn't miss me. Our relationship was very organic. It was very granola, very simple, very easy, very, you list all the things that you want to have in a partner. They were there. The one thing that wasn't there probably was trust. And
like the most
that's
important
okay,
thing.
because who am I to say who he needs to be with?
What the fuck? That's like one of the most important things. If you don't have trust, you don't have anything. You can't give your heart or your body to someone you don't trust. There's no longevity in mistrust. What is wrong with these people? This is crazy. And it was granola because what did you eat? Granola bars because you went camping twice? Because he owns some Patagonia gear? Like, what is this? Is crazy pants talk. And Schwartz just did an interview, like Access Hollywood. I think we can listen to it after this. And he was just like, I don't even know what me and Joe was, if it was a relationship or whatever. And she's like, we definitely had a relationship and it was beautiful and it was wonderful and it was perfect. And the only thing we were lacking was trust. You mean one of the foundations of relationships? What? That's okay. Okay.
He doesn't need to be with. What I need to do is the one thing that wasn't there probably was trust. And that's okay, because
oh my
who
God.
am I to say who he needs to be with or who he doesn't need to be with? What I need to do is I need to move on and work on myself. It doesn't mean that I have to talk any type of, crapola, the Italian, about Tom Schwartz. It means that I look back and I feel very grateful that I had somebody in my life that made me so happy. We could not have laughed more. And I think that we could have worked through it. However, we're in different places in our lives, and I support his place and I support, myself, and we're not on bad terms at all. It's just, I had to set some boundaries and I feel good about that. And I wish him all the best with his new girlfriend. And I hope that, he keeps hiking his pants up and walking around screaming, Joseph! And probably not, because she's probably there, but it's tough. It's really tough because I've never been with somebody who really made me smile almost every single second of every single day, and then have it end. And it's not been easy. I've been very depressed about it. And then on top of that, it's been tough to see things going out onto like the World Wide Web. And, Katie did not make it easy. Let's just keep adding layers to, like, no one asked how I was.
Oh my God, Katie didn't make it easy. Schwartz didn't make it easy. Girl, he lied to you. He embarrassed you. He used you. And we're still talking about Katie? Katie's mad because you moved Snakey in the group and came in and she was still processing going through that divorce shit. And you were in the same friend group. And she had asked Schwartz, don't date in the friend group. And he did it twice. Once on a lie to like embarrass her and keep this, to bring down both her and Ariana, to keep Scandal, under wraps. And they just treated it like a game, hurting Katie and Ariana in the process because they didn't give a shit. All right? It's like, oh my gosh.
And then on top of that, it's been tough to see.
But we're still blaming Katie. It's been so hard. He is now basically saying he found the love of his life, the Sophia 23-year-old. He's like, she's marketing. She graduated from Oregon State or Oregon or whatever. Go Ducks. I know they love ducks. She's so smart. She's so gregarious. She's beautiful. I saw her and I had that moment like, oh, and I wasn't looking. And then, that person that just comes into your life. I wanted to film on the show. Like, these are things he has said about his new 23-year-old girlfriend after telling Joe, oh no, I don't want a relationship. And now he's like, I love her. Oh, I'm in a full relationship. And all it took was a 23-year-old. I mean, this man has disrespected you on so many levels, but we're still talking about Katie. Yes, and she owns a vintage store. Like, he told us everything, Pamela. He was like, check it out. Oh, and she's so stylish and she's so smart. And she just walks into a room and she like lights it up and everybody loves her. I mean, that, if I was Joe, that would kill me. That would be like, oh my, that would hurt so bad. These Toms are vicious. They are vicious. They throw women out like garbage. They love bomb and tell you they're going to give you the world. And then they just F your friend behind your back when you're mourning or lead you on and then throw you out, throw you to the wolves. Like, yeah, come on, Vanderpump Rules. And then we'll use you as a scapegoat. It'll be perfect. And then you can go after the women so that me and Tom, our evil plan of hiding behind, society's misogyny and the women's internalized misogyny will work. Oh my God.
Onto like the World Wide Web. And, Katie did not make it easy. Let's just keep adding layers to like, no one asked how I was doing. It's the same with you. I asked how you were doing, Raquel. People didn't ask how you were doing. Right. And it's like, no one really asked how I was doing besides like you or even some of my closest friends. And it's so interesting.
Why would Katie ask you how you're doing? Did you ask her how she was doing? Getting through, you sent that one text and then you started having sex with her husband that she was separating from. What are you talking about? Why would Katie ask you how you're doing after the way you move? Why would Ariana ask you? Did you ask Ariana how she's doing? Did you say, hey, Ariana, I'm sorry for going on double dates with your boyfriend and his mistress at the time? What?
To see how I came out of this working on myself.
Do you have regrets or?
I don't have regrets. Tom Schwartz, him and I went through a lot together.
Oh my God.
Went through almost a year and a half, spending 5 to 6 days a week together. And like, we just had like the best time. So it did show me how to be treated and also showed me how to not be treated, and I think when there is a breakup, people think that you're supposed to hate on somebody. I just don't hate on him. I just know that we're not compatible.
You guys remember that. Just like if you're going to be like a fully fledged like woman in the world, don't hate on the guy that breaks your heart. Hate on a woman. Find a woman to completely hate on. Okay? Just blame a woman for a guy acting fucked up. For the same guy that fucked with her and now is fucking with you, blame her. It's not his fault. He's great. I want him to be so happy because I have toxic positivity. Steven, yes, thank you for the super chat. Steven says, never trust that Tom. Shawnee, the way when you break down the math and you look at it. So as you can see, Schwartz is here with some curly haired guy. He's got his arm around. And then his girlfriend, Sophia. In the middle is the thirsty Kyle Chan. And then Tom Sandoval's new girlfriend who used to date Leo. What a downgrade she did. And then Tom Sandoval. And then they apparently used the same spray tan that day. And that is the young woman so Tom Schwartz allegedly is 41. I think he's 62, but whatever. And she's 23. Shawnee says he was a junior in college when she was born. Yuck. Ew. Creepy. It's given the ick. I got ick. She needs to move on from warts. You will hear she ain't moving anywhere. She is staying. Tom, and I think you deserve this, Tom. I do, Schwartz. Joe is going to be that woman that's going to be like, hi, what are you doing? I was just walking by your apartment and I put my face to the glass of the window and I was listening and I saw you guys were talking and you were very happy. And I remember I was being happy. And I just think that, if you're going to be happy with someone, you should probably let me know. So I've been sitting here and I brought a lighter and I brought some gasoline and I'm not going to do anything. Maybe I will. I'm not sure. Anyways, have you seen your dogs? Don't hurt the dogs. Please, Joe, don't hurt the dogs. Don't set any fires like we talked about in the live earlier. All jokes. No offense, all offense. Don't Lisa Left Eye Lopez anything, even though RIP to the queen, Lisa Left Eye Lopez. But I think she's going to be like, what are you doing, Tom? It's funny that we ran into you here at your dentist at the same time that I booked a dental appointment with your hygienist. Yeah, I wrote myself in the book. Oh, I'm just checking out. Looks like we're having a problem with one of your molars. Maybe I'll pull it out. I've locked the door and all the dental people are outside and they're tied up. And now I'm in charge of your teeth because you don't love me, Tom. I want to be positive. I don't want to be negative. Katie is a bitch. Like, it's giving. We got to process this, Joe. You got to direct your anger in the right way. You got to just scream into a pillow, let it all out. You can't live, laugh, love your way through this shit. It is mean what he did. It is gross what he did. This is what leads to episodes of Snapped. You don't want to be that episode of Snapped. So you're going to have to start admitting some harsh truths. He never loved you. He's a user. He's a user, a boozer, and a loser, as Jerry Blank would say. And that's okay. And you dodged a bullet and you can do better, but you got to do better. And then you can do better. You can get better. You deserve better, but you got to do better. Oh, God. We still have so much of this podcast.
No. Or maybe ever.
You said the only thing missing from that relationship was trust.
Whew.
What do you mean by that?
That's a great question. The only thing that is missing now is trust.
Mm-hmm. You trusting him or him trusting you?
Me trusting him.
From my perspective, it's like he didn't want to commit to you.
You're not wrong.
It's like he wanted to have his cake and to eat it too. And
yes.
He wanted to keep you as like a secret side piece almost.
You just nailed it.
Rachel's like, he didn't really like you. He wanted to keep you as a side piece and on the DL. And like when him and I were kissing, we were kissing out front and he didn't want to kiss you out front. That's like, oh, he would only kiss you behind the dumpsters. That's so sad. Rachel is dragging her and she doesn't even know it.
It's 100% correct.
Which I feel like is really messed up.
Yeah, it is. I should have left. I should have just said no, good luck. But he would kind of rope me back in, and I have a hard time reliving those months and days and hours
Might wanna go to
because we had so
therapy.
many fun times together. I also have a really hard time with knowing that he could just like throw me aside, and I can't even imagine. Like, I think I'm a good catch.
You are.
Thank you. And
You are.
at some point, and I don't know when, I was not aware of when he stopped loving me. So I probably was the last to know, to be honest.
I think the thing that is so frustrating is just seeing how he's, acting one way towards you off camera. And then once the cameras are up and running, he's like a completely different person with a different attitude about the whole situation.
Big time. I mean, the whole time we were dating, we were, and you saw this, we were so happy. We were in love. We would tell each other we loved each other, and we would be extremely just in our own bubble, and we liked it that way. And the cameras would come up, and it was like I didn't even exist. And it was tough. It was mind-blowingly tough. I'm getting like goosebumps thinking about this. And then we'd film again, and he would make up these things and say that like we were both dating other people, and I wasn't dating anybody else. I guess maybe that was his way of saying that he was dating somebody else. I was the last to know on honestly everything. And all I was doing was.
But you had the framework right in front of you. You were a part of the friend group. You saw what was going on with Tom Schwartz and Katie. This is exactly the kind of bullshit he pulled on Katie. That's like, oh gosh, I didn't know. Am I hurting your feelings by calling you names and never having your back and kissing people when I'm supposed to be married to you? Oh, geez, Louise. Geez, Louise. I mean, Joe, come on. History tends to repeat itself in these situations.
I was just being myself.
I noticed that you still use nicknames for him.
I do. Yes, Raquel, you are not wrong. I do use nicknames for Tom Schwartz.
I feel like you're still kind of like grieving that.
I'm 100% still grieving.
Yeah.
I miss him a lot. I also know.
But how dare that bitch Katie grieve her relationship and be mad at you and the way you moved and slid in to his guest bedroom? How dare she grieve a marriage? Katie was married to him. I love how these women want these two in particular, they want all the sympathy and the empathy and the love, but they don't show it for anybody else. They don't give a shit about Ariana. How did Joe react in the recent episode? I don't care. It didn't have anything to do with me. I was paying attention to Schwartz. I don't care. I didn't know. I thought they were broken up. Ariana and Sandoval. Shows no grace for anybody else, but wants all the grace given to them. They were married. They dated for like 10 years. And then were married. They were family. Her family was his family. His family was her family. Like, what don't you understand about that? Yet you're like, I'm devastated. Oh my God. But yet Katie's a bitch for having very strong feelings about trying to put up boundaries with Schwartz, who just doesn't give a shit because he'll blame someone else when he just doesn't do it and hurts people's feelings. When she was like, hey, I don't want dating in the friend group. It's weird. It's too much. And now she's running up, put your choo-choos in the chat, a train through Schwartz's life and friends. And he's like, I can't believe it. It's like, yeah, bitch, because you didn't listen. Katie told you, if you want to be friendly, then you got to respect me. You got to learn to respect me and this friendship and hooking up with people in the friend group. He never did that. Oh my God. But we got to feel bad for Joe. Okay.
That he's moved on. So there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
It's going to take me a very long time to get me to a place of happiness again.
Oh, jeez.
With anybody. So again, Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, because I know when I'm looking to get over heartbreak, I go for the first anti-vaxxer I can find, Mr. Aaron Rodgers. No offense, all offense to Packer fans, but I'm from Minnesota, so I can't, I have to have a feeling toward the Packers, and it can't be positive.
No, but yeah, I got mentally fucked up. Like I've never said that before. I haven't been able to kind of get out of bed unless I've, been doing hair and stuff. My job's been taking care of me, and the church, and like just being able to just have a routine. But
what church? I've never heard of this church. Interesting that she brings up the church is taking care of her. Did they take her in? Are they feeding her? What's happening? A Callis, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, can we just admit the longest, most committed relationship on the show is the Toms? Anyone else will always be the other woman. Hi to Nana, 100% right. And also, that's also a very dysfunctional relationship that a lot of time Tom Schwartz has to swallow his pride and he has to bow down to Tom Sandoval, who is often putting Tom Schwartz down, saying he's the second fiddle. Tom is the number one Tom. I mean, right when they started running Tom and Tom Sandoval, the episode where he yells at Stassi when Stassi's having like her last book event there, and Tom's like, oh, Sandoval's like, you didn't tell me. And Schwartz is like, no, we did. We met. Stassi met with me, and I told you how many people were. Oh, you said it was like 15. And Tom Schwartz was like, no, Tom, we definitely talked and said it was like 50 to 75 people that were going to be at Tom. Cut to, that's exactly what happened. And Schwartz still had to swallow it all. That sounds bad, but he had to swallow. And he even did say, Tom, I think you're being kind of condescending to me, Sandoval. I think you're being, and he was like, I'm not being condescending. He was like, yeah, you're not being condescending to me. So it's that in itself is its own weird abusive relationship. Yeah, this church thing comes up and I'm like, what church?
You spend time with somebody for, 5 days a week for a year plus.
The Church of Backward.
And then it gets cut off. It's kind of like a death. So, and then they don't really help you.
Oh my God, not a death. No offense, all offense. I still think he's an asshole and the way he leads women on and it's gross and the love bombing, all that. But like rebound. It was very reboundy. Now it's a death.
Out with your recovery, and then you don't know until later that they're already dating somebody else, and then you were told that he didn't want to date it. It's like,
right. We got to rewind a little bit because this is where she starts getting angry. And I'm like, yes, Joe, feel those feelings. He is an asshole.
And stuff. My job's in taking care of me and the church and like just being able to just have a routine. But you spend time with somebody for 5 days a week for a year plus. And then it gets cut off. It's kind of like a death. So, and then they don't really help you out with your recovery, and then you don't know until later that they're already dating somebody else. And then you were told that he didn't want to date it. It's like, pick a lane, it's just been so mentally frustrating.
You deserve somebody who's mature.
And so do you.
Wants commitment. Can you walk me through like how you met Schwartz?
Not Church's Chicken. Church's Chicken is not a church joke. Okay. First of all, why would the guy who strung you along, misled you, all these things, led you on, why would he be active in your recovery from the breakup of him? I don't know. Anyone I've ever broken up with or broken up with me, they've never helped me recover from it. I'll tell you that. They've only made it worse. How did this woman get to 35 and we are still talking in such an immature way about intimate relationships with others? I'm quite baffled.
We met at a function with the Vanderpump crew, would run into him multiple times, and we'd always like high five each other. It was like we were brother and sister. And
I hate when they do that. Jax and Kristen are still trying to push that narrative. We have a very brother-sister relationship. No, you fudged. That's illegal. People don't do that. This isn't Game of Thrones. You can't F your brother or your sister. Definitely illegal, definitely gross, definitely not good. So no. If you start as brother and sister and then you fudged, that you need to go get some intensive behavioral cognitive therapy. You need to do some kind of hypnosis, something, because that's not good.
Can you walk me through like how you met Schwartz?
We met at a function with the Vanderpump crew. Would run into him multiple times, and we'd always like high five each other. It was like we were brother and sister. And at one point, I needed a place to stay. So I landed at Schwartz's. He's like, yeah, for sure. There's 2 bedrooms, everybody.
Right. So he was like, you could just stay with me. I have an extra bed and an extra guest room.
Basically, that's exactly what it was.
And how long were you there?
6 days.
And what was your dynamic with Katie at this time?
I don't think that we even had a dynamic. I was never friends with her, super close. I remember texting her a text message when they had gotten a divorce back in months prior. And
that's the text message that
she just keeps talking about. And I had no idea that was the thing. I just thought I was like, yeah, we were in a group of people. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll just
Because she's making it sound like you were like reaching out as a close friend and that it was only like a week or 2 later that you started hanging out with Schwartz.
Months after.
Okay, Joe, you didn't know it was a thing. This is what you sent her. Bieber loves you because you knew she loved Bieber. You had a Bieber thing. So you guys had an inside joke, which indicates friendship. I love you. You love her. So it's not just, I don't know. I don't tell my acquaintances I love them. I know there's this epidemic in LA where everyone's like, oh my God, I love you. I love you. And I'm like, but you don't. It's very disingenuous. So maybe it was one of those disingenuous I love yous, but you did say I love you. And I'm so supporting of your inner thoughts and visions. So you know her inner thoughts and visions, that indicates, that maybe you've had conversations about life and visions and things like that. Live in the moment. You're a gem. You think she's pretty great. You love her. You tell her she's a gem. And I've always respected you. You respect her, but then you're going to go behind her back and bang her ex-husband and get in a relationship with him, knowing that you know her inner thoughts and visions. And if you know Katie, you would know that Katie wouldn't want anyone in her friend group having sex with Tom Schwartz because it was very difficult, as she has expressed. I think just because Katie and Ariana show more of a tougher exterior where they put up a wall, just like Ariana was saying, or I should say armor, because it's very traumatic shit and they don't want it to bleed all over everybody else. That doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt them. And Katie has told us on this show and got emotional about just how hard it was to walk away from someone she really loved, because she really did love Schwartz, but she knew that it had gotten to a place where she was never going to get from him what she deserved and the kind of love she was looking for. She thought she could. You always think, oh, they're going to change. Things are going to get better. And it just got worse and worse and worse. And Schwartz is like, what? Just Mr. Delulu over there just kept cheating. And she had to walk away. And that's what she was telling Tom Sandoval. Like, I don't feel bad for you and your little mistress situation or whatever's happening here. I know that I had to walk away from someone that I loved, and I did it without cheating on them. And having sex with their friend. I waited to have sex with their friend till after we were divorced and after he did not respect my boundaries and was just hooking up all over the place with people in our friend group. So, okay. And then she said, I've always respected you. Clearly not. I love you. You said, I love you again. So this isn't just like, hey, sorry about your divorce. This isn't an acquaintance text. If it is, Joe, then you might have some issues with, I don't know. I can't diagnose you. I'm not in the mental health field, but this seems to me to be kind of an intimate text, someone that you've known for a while, had a relationship with. I know I had like an acquaintance who got a divorce, and I don't even think I think when I saw her, I was like, oh, I'm very sorry about your divorce. You deserve better. But it wasn't like, oh my God, I love you, blah, 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 because we were not at that place. So if you're not at that place with someone, why are you sending them this? It's weird. It's weird. It's not adding up. The consistency's off. Ugh.
It's not like me and Schwartz had anything going on whatsoever. If anybody out there can understand this, it's easier to save money. So I wanted to save money. That was my priority.
So when you went to stay with him, nothing happened?
Nothing happened.
I mean, Katie's making it seem like you were close and then you texted her, and a week later you guys, like, you moved into Schwartz's apartment and you guys were hooking up immediately. And that's not the case.
Correct.
Why does she have so much hatred for you?
Well, let's just navigate the first thing. Being close. I'm not close to Katie.
Never was.
Never loved her.
I was able to be there.
Do you see how Joe is very much like Schwartz? Okay. She is hurt because somebody played her like she plays people. She may not do this in romantic relationships, but in friendships, it seemed like she kind of does this. She's definitely playing it down the same way he's playing down their relationship. So maybe she doesn't like it thrown back at her, obviously, because you're definitely playing this down, Joe. Interesting.
Through a text to give her some sympathy on her divorce.
Human decency.
Yep. And that was thrown in my face. So
Rachel Raquel, you are not therapized enough to talk to us about human decency, ma'am. Stay in your lane.
And number two, it was not the next week that I ever moved in with anybody, because I was living at my house at the time. It was months later that I needed a place to stay. Schwartz had an extra bedroom. He had already moved out. It was months later. He was like, yeah, no worries, stay. And I don't really understand why this is such a big deal, because it was just nice to have a space to stay in between my house and my apartment. And it just so happened that we caught feelings, but it wasn't until later. Mm-hmm. And we never hooked up.
Do you think Katie has...
She thinks we're stupid. This is ridiculous. You're a 35-year-old woman who's lived in LA many years. I assume, unless what Kristen's saying is true and you struggle with like friendships or something, that you have girlfriends or friends that you don't want to have sex with that you can definitely stay with. for these 6 days or an Airbnb. It just makes me feel like this was definitely deliberate, and it was an opportunity, as HC is saying, Joe's an opportunist, for you to get in where you wanted to fit in, which was in Schwartz's bed. Because Kristen Doty said, and I know, take it or however you want when it's Kristen Doty, but she said you guys were close. You hung out 4 times a week on average with her, and she had an extra bedroom, and she was just baffled as to why you wouldn't reach out to her for a place to stay, but you would reach out to Schwartz, who for a long time you wouldn't even text about his haircuts. You went through his wife Katie because it appears you were better friends with her than you were Tom Schwartz. It's like, girl, you know what you were doing. You were like, oh, I'll stay at your place. Let's fuck. Like, you knew what you were doing. Stop.
You know, was it just you, or is it like because it's Schwartz and it's anyone that's dating Schwartz?
I can't answer any of these questions because I don't know what's going through her mind. I will say this. I think subconsciously she was a little bit intimidated by the relationship that Schwartz and I had because it was real. Everyone saw it. Like, Schwartz and I had such a great bond. You've seen Schwartzy and I together.
I've seen
It's
you
been
guys
fun.
together. You bring out, like, I could just tell, like, you're so authentically you with him, and he is so authentically himself with you. And it's heartbreaking to see that, like, because no, you guys are compatible, but it just seems like he's not quite in the headspace to be able to commit to somebody.
This is so cringe. You saw it. You know what it's like. We were really good together. Like, she keeps saying that and trying to convince herself and get the confirmation from others that they were good. It's clear you weren't good. He didn't look at you the same way you looked at him. I mean, look how he treats you and treated you. But you're like, we were good. And Katie was obviously, like, she was so mad because we had this connection that no one else is ever going to have. In the year, you think your connection's going to be better than the one she had with him for all those years and being married? Girl, please. No, no.
And it almost seems like he's
Oh,
ashamed.
Yeah, he kept me a secret for a long time. And that was like really weird, but I didn't really know how to handle that, you know?
And it's weird too, because obviously I was a secret for a long time.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe Schwartz was like, you know, like it was a secret thing with you guys.
Like, we would go to the bar, we'd hold hands, we'd make out in the corner, and then we would like go on a date, and then all of a sudden he would tell the press that we weren't together for over a year.
And we're seeing this play out on the show this season.
Yeah, we are seeing this play out on the show this season.
You guys hang out so much. I've seen you guys hang out so much. And then he's like, oh, Joe, like, no, we're not together.
But then in the same breath, he'll say something like,
I want to
I can marry her.
Yeah. It's so confusing.
Yeah.
It's confusing, but then it also makes sense because, like, is he so wrapped up in the perception of what he looks like? And is it Katie that's like maybe
Oh, hell no. I didn't get this far. We're going to go back to blaming Kate. Is it not that he just says things to get sex and whatever he wants, that he's too big of a chicken shit, just like his friend Tom Sandoval, to just like break ties when he needs to break ties and be the adult and say, this is over and this is what I want from you. And instead I'm going to like fool her into these things and then casually just like go back in the bushes like Homer Simpson, like, we were never dating, even though my penis was in your vagina many times and you lived with me. So we're just going to blame Katie. It can't possibly be this man who had all the control in your relationship. It has to be Katie. It's Katie. It's Katie. It's Katie. Katie fucked her relationship, you guys. It's not him. It's Katie's fault. Oh my God.
Mindset is influenced by Katie because Katie just
Oh my
has it
God.
out for you.
Right. It's all these questions that I don't know.
Yeah.
And I really don't care, because at this point, what I do care about though is when he says, I don't want to date somebody right now, but he was, and now he has a new girlfriend. That one is the messed up part. It's so messed up to me.
That makes me angry.
Makes me very angry, but I will take care of it on my own time with meditation and yoga and all the things. That one really bothered me because it's not correct. Because if you don't want to be with somebody, then you have to give the right answer. But I will say this. I wish he would have, you know what? No, I wish nothing. I think he did everything the right way. And Tom Schwartz and myself are in a good place. We're not speaking, but I wish him the best. And I think that I can speak on behalf of myself and Tom Schwartz. We both could have done so many things differently. We both made mistakes. However, we both had the best times together.
Yeah.
And I want him to really find happiness. And I want him to be the best version of himself. And, you know, I think that you can see that through the season. We bring each other happiness big time. However, that's done.
Okay, whoa. You both just said he was so confusing. And 1 minute he would be like, I can marry you. And then when the cameras turned on, he was like, I don't even know you. I don't know you. That's not my purse. I don't know you. That's my purse. I don't know you. Like, that's what you're saying. And then in the next breath, you're about to say, like, yeah, I feel like he should have handled this differently. I feel like he should have been honest with me and told me, because he was out there saying he doesn't want a relationship. And then the next minute, as she's saying, he's dating a 23-year-old. That hurts. And then she's like, no, I think we handled it perfectly. He handled it great. It's so great. It's so fine. I am fine, you guys. It's like that episode of Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, where Teddy, I think it was like her first season, and she's preggers. So maybe her second season, and she's like, you guys, I'm fine. And she's like crying at the dinner table, I think at Kyle's. And we're like, we're pretty sure you're not fine, because you're literally having a panic attack and crying. It's fine. We handled it so great. I can speak for both of us. You can't speak for both of you guys, because you don't speak anymore. And he has a new girlfriend. The thing he said he didn't want from you. And then found this girl and was like, I love girlfriends. Oh, girl.
And I need to move on.
Mhm.
The moving on part has been tough.
Yeah. I think that's
big time.
the hardest part, especially when you're like thinking about all the good times that you had together.
Yes.
And all of those moments and the memories and the photos and the
everything.
And like the thought of like what could be.
The moments where I would literally, do the stupidest thing and he'd be right there, and like, we'd always be like, you know what they say? And he'd be like, a rabbit decides to cross the road. I'd be like, and the truck decides to run over a acorn. Like, we were so at some point, hey, everybody out there, Aaron Rodgers, if you're listening, I will date you.
Well, what just happened? I didn't skip ahead. She went from being like, we were so funny. We were the funniest couple. Like, he would be like, a rabbit crossed the road. And I'd be like, yeah, and an acorn was there to stop it from first-degree murder. Hey, Aaron Rodgers. And then she got really loud. Like, what happened? I need a video of this podcast. Was that a horrible edit, or was that just her like, what's going on? What's happening? Someone get Joe off the show and into the Rachel Raquel mental health facility. Something's happening here. It's not good. Something's happening here. And what it is ain't exactly clear. That was okay. I did not do anything with that.
And the memories and the photos and the
everything.
And like the thought of like what could be.
The moments where I would literally, do the stupidest thing and he'd be right there, and like, we'd always be like, you know what they say? And he'd be like, a rabbit decides to cross the road. And I'd be like, and the truck decides to run over a acorn. Like, we were so at some point, hey, everybody out there, Aaron Rodgers, if you're listening, I will date you.
I don't know who Aaron Rodgers is. Who's that?
Oh, he's a football player.
Oh, cute.
I feel like he would definitely be my type.
That was very manic. That was very like, you're talking about Acorn and Tom Sandoval, and then you're like, hey, everybody out there, tell Aaron Rodgers that I'm not vaccinated and I'm ready to go to Pound Town.
Oh, yeah. Let's make that happen. Okay.
I love Rachel Raquel. She's like, I don't know who that is. Is always a professional football player. Let's make it happen for me. I'm telling you, keep your eyes open, Joe. Because once Rachel was like, I don't know who that is. That like a guy at the coffee shop in Silver Lake? I know, never heard of him. And then, Joe says, oh, he's a professional football player. Oh my God, let's make that happen. You heard Rachel Raquel like coveting your man already. Oh
my gosh. Yeah. But
I'm calling it. Rachel Raquel is going on a date with anti-vaxxer Aaron Rodgers, quarterback for the Packers. I'm calling it. It's
hard. It's really hard because I've seen your guys' connection, but then I've also seen the way that he talks to you on the season, and it's like a misconnect. It's like
it's like the cameras start rolling. I've always said that, like, if he just doesn't have a phone in his hand and he wasn't on the show, he'd be the perfect guy.
Yeah.
He's always on his phone and he's on the show. And if he was just off the show and would get into like a forest and go camping or hunt, like, he would be my perfect person. But it's all about,
So she just said, basically, I could kidnap him and take away his phone and all of his friends and his livelihood. We would be fine. We would be so good. We'd be golden. The only thing that's getting in the way is like his phone, communication with others, his job. But when we are out camping and I have him in like the misery cabin, like far, far away, and he can't contact anyone, including his own parents, we are so good. When he has no other options, we're so good. And when I tie him down to the bed, and I lock him in, there's a cage. I have it's like a kennel. I have a dog, so there's like he has enough room to breathe. And when I have him in there, we are so good. We are like in tune. We are symbiotic, all the Sims. We're playing Sims. We're so good. That is creepy. I'm sorry, that's creepy.
The way that he's been talking about me and to me is so disconnected from what really did happen. And
Yeah.
I know I'm sorry for being controversial here, but I will tell you this. The producers on the show were the ones that really helped me open up and be like, you need to speak
Oh, I
about
heard this part. Yeah.
And I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for that.
Good.
I would have kept my mouth shut.
In which way?
Hey, Joe, we're seeing a different side of this, that, the other. How about you kind of open up and like speak a little bit more? And it took me a minute, but they really, really were pushing to be kind to me because they saw it before I did.
Mm.
And they didn't have to showcase that, but they decided to be like, we're sick of this. We're sick of the Schwartz. I think in their mind, they were sick of the Schwartz behavior. And they were like, let's actually show someone who's really blindsided. And the producer.
I'm sorry, what? These are these low-key digs, somewhat high-key, but in passing, these very passive-aggressive things. They wanted to show someone who was truly blindsided. Again, alluding to the fact that Ariana wasn't blindsided. No one else has been blindsided but Joe. No one else in the world has ever been hurt but Joe. Because allegedly at the reunion, we're going to learn things that are going to blow our minds. And the producers tipped her off. They were like, girl, he's not that into you. And she was like, what? So the producers encouraged her, gave her a safe space, in my safe space, to talk about this. Because they wanted a real blindside. Okay, Joe. Okay. But you see, we're not invested in you like we were Ariana or Katie being on the show. We're not invested in this relationship because Tom Schwartz can't even say it was a relationship.
And the people in the crew were all like, you have a safe space. And my confessionals and in my interviews, I was so grateful that they helped me through that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would have been able to be vocal about it if it wasn't for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I give grace and I give thanks to people in areas of my life that have helped me through certain situations. And that was a big one for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just saying, that's my journey.
I hear you. I think production does a really good job of being observant of people's behavior and
Whoa, Rachel, cool it. Bethany Frankel's going to be on your ace. Okay, cool it.
Just like the disconnect between certain things that they observe, but then
Certain.
potentially not saying the actual, but then they didn't have to do that. They could have easily let me look like a fool, but they really were like, look, Joe, without saying anything, we want you to talk.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. And I felt heard. I mean, I'll be honest, I would not have been able to get to this place unless somebody pushed me to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that way, but also on international television.
Yeah.
I felt very lucky to be in a place that no matter what transpired, no matter what was edited, I felt for once able to speak on what I was feeling, what I was listening to, what I was being told, all that. And I said it in front of a camera and I stuck to it and I got heartbroken. And I hope that maybe somebody out there is, can relate to that.
Mm-hmm. You filmed the reunion.
No.
Yes. Do you think the cast had a different perspective on your relationship with Schwartz after seeing the way that it has been playing out?
Yes.
Everybody did.
At the reunion, whether or not this is going to get aired, I hope it does at the reunion, but when it came down to it, the cast really was under the impression that I was lying about my relationship with Schwartz, and Schwartz was the one who was kind of keeping me behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes sense from what Schwartz has been exposing me as. They were baffled. It was really neat to see kind of like a gasp of like, oh, you not only lied to Joe, but you lied to us and you also lied to Andy and you lied to everybody. And like, it's very clear throughout the season that you guys were together, but we all thought that Joe was the liar. And when in reality, Joe was the one who was being honest.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember what the reaction was of Schwartz, and I don't know if it's going to air. I really hope it does. And, Katie apologized to me too, so it was kind of like a weird full circle.
Isn't that wonderful how other scorned women can actually come together? See how mature Katie's being, and Ariana, even on the after show, was calling out Tom Schwartz, because that's what Ariana does. Whatever revisionist history Lala's taken us through now on her Amazon lives. Don't believe the hype. She's lying. We were there. We watched the whole fucking show. We were there for Pickleball Randall, the whole 9. We saw Ariana stick up for you multiple times. But she even said, Ariana on the after show, like, wow. She basically was like, Tom was like leading her on. Like, that was mean. Like, they felt for you because Nobody wants to see the Toms keep getting away with this. The problem is people like you and Rachel Raquel show up and you want to be the cool girls. You want to be the, oh my God, but he chose me. I'm different. Is that going to happen to me? It's going to happen to you. It always happens. We all think we're the one that's going to change him and that he's going to not do this anymore. No, these dudes need to be checked, and they need to be checked hard, and they need to be exposed for real to protect other women and other people out there. So we can't have women going against other women in order to get dick from him. Come on. So you see the grace they're showing you, and you still refuse to show Katie the same grace. It's crazy.
I was shocked. I couldn't believe that even one of the 7, 8 people on these couches would even listen to like my side of the story and like listen. Honestly, it was almost like a reverse.
I hate to keep having to stop this, but it's hard to listen to. And that just goes to show, surround yourself with badass, powerful women. Don't shit on them to get to a shitty man, because the women will be there for you. The uteruses will be there for you. They will hold you in their uterine lining, and the warmth of their vulvas will surround you when the guys fail you. The guys will always stick with the guys. So quit running around town saying, Tom Sandoval's so great. Is Tom Sandoval there letting you cry on his shoulder and he's not trying to F you? Is he there? No, he was talking shit about you to Schwartz. He probably thought you were a stage 5 clinger too. These dudes don't care about you. Kyle Chan was like, Schwartz isn't going to meet any men with you doing this. Get out of here. And then Tom's new assistant, who allegedly people are claiming Tom Sandoval might have stole his whole style and his like singing stuff from this new assistant, Greg, whatever his name is. Hopefully he's paying him, because allegedly he didn't pay all of his other assistants and people that worked for him, but I digress. So that is something I feel like you should know by 35. You don't, that's okay. But now take inventory and note of these women who arguably you hurt. You were involved in things that were very hurtful to them, and you were very dismissive of that, how they showed grace for you and how they were there for you. And these men that you decided to give it all up for threw you aside like trash and didn't care. Okay? Oh, geez.
I mean,
Get with the uterus.
And being like, holy moly.
Yes, Cassandra Perez, tacos before vatos. That is fantastic. And I need that on all the t-shirts. Tacos before vatos.
That person. But no, it was a big switch.
Yeah. It's like a reverse Uno card.
And like it made me feel uncomfortable. It made Schwartz feel uncomfortable, because I don't want to put Schwartz in a bad position, but it also made me feel kind of comfortable because people were finally realizing that, I'm not really comfortable even being here, but I'm excited to be here because I want to speak my truth at the reunion.
Yeah.
And when I did speak my truth, it was almost like a big aha moment from the cast.
I feel like it did you a disservice, because if he was just honest and truthful,
it would have been great.
it would have been,
maybe
not even great, but it would have been like real, and it wouldn't have put you in a position where you are now looking like a crazy, crazy girl
who's like crawling after him every time. Like I'm just always following him. I'm always like trying to like, I'm always at his ankle. Like, no,
or like inserting yourself.
Right.
And like,
in reality it was the opposite. And then when that truth finally came out at the reunion, everyone was like, and they all just kind of like looked at me differently.
Yeah.
And I don't care how they looked at me, but it was a moment of like shock. And
But you did care how they looked at you, because you've been claiming that you've been being bullied by people you're trying to befriend. So you do care how they look at you. And the fact that despite all this, she still says, I don't want to make it hard for Schwartz. Girl, you got it bad. You got it bad. It's like really bad. It's factual. The internalized misogyny in both of these women is just dripping. Like, it is so evident that they just want to protect the men and the patriarchy at all costs, even when they're fucking them over to their face, or not fucking them, or not claiming them, not showing them the most basic respect you can show someone that you're having an intimate relationship, who allegedly you're saying you love behind the scenes and living with. He can't even like claim you out on the streets, but he can do it in the sheets at home when no one's around. He will literally embarrass you. You and Rachel Raquel want to talk about, this embarrassment on an international level. He embarrassed you on an international level. Your mom's going to say it. Your dad's going to say it. Your friends' kids who apparently are watching Vanderpump Rules, even though I know so many kids and none of them even know what Vanderpump Rules is. It is, Joe, this is a mess. This is a mess. Joe, you got to do better.
And, you know, Sheena was giving me a tissue, and I'm not sure if it's going to air, but I'm hoping so, because then Schwartz goes into the whole, she's the light of my life. She's awesome. She's great. Like, I should have all the and then it's like a da. So I'm having a hard time between being like telling the truth, which is exactly what I'm telling, and then also not ripping Schwartz apart because he is a good person.
No, he's not. Look at how he's treating you. Do good people do this to people they say they love? Do they string you along like that, hang you out to dry, and let you take all this heat and set you up to be a psycho? The Toms are fine with women being perceived as the psychos as long as it gets the heat off of them. They don't care. They did to Ariana. They do it to Katie. They will constantly try to disparage the women. It's the women. Oh my God, he's a battered wife. Ma'am, stop. He's not a good person. Good people don't treat people like this. They just don't. You can say you were going through whatever you want, Schwartz, but we've seen you do this time after time, year after year. You just had this very scarily charming personality that would get you out of it with a smile. You had the good looks and a smile, and you were used to being able to get yourself out of these situations using words, big words, no less, a lot of times incorrectly, but a lot of times correctly. You're not a dumb person. All right. But you want to be the aw shucks, geez, Louisers. Good people don't do this to you. God, Joe. Ugh.
But I think he needs to work on himself.
I need an Excedrin.
But that's not my place to tell him. Mm-hmm. It's my place.
Oh, it's your place to tell him. I would tell him, bitch, you need to work on yourself. There is something wrong with you. You are not okay. You are not a man. You're not manning right now. You're baby boying. You're not doing the right thing. You got to pull up your huggies, wipe your own ass, and grow the fuck up because you're almost 50 years old. That's what I would tell him. Why are you still trying to protect him? The only thing I can think is because you still see the possibility you want to keep that door open for a future, and there's no future with someone like this.
To work on myself and talk about my experience, and I hope that he can get to that place one day as well, individually.
That's such a mature perspective.
It's true. I mean, this is what we're learning this,
I know,
in our life.
This is what we've been talking about. Like,
yeah.
And this is the problem with codependency too, is like, as much as you want somebody
She's
to help
codependent.
themselves,
Yeah.
they will not.
No.
Unless they want to.
I wanted so badly to help him with so many avenues and aspects of his life. And it was positive and positive and positive. And he was so grateful and all these things. But then it's like I realized I wasn't getting the same back, and I wasn't able to get the same amount of love and support back. And I'd have to ask for a lot of that. And he would give it to me. But I realized that I had to really weigh the pros and cons. And, to this day, if it was me and Schwartz on an island somewhere, I would be so happy because he wouldn't have his phone and he wouldn't be on a TV show.
Yeah.
He's such a good person. It's just a matter.
Girl, he would still find a way to cheat on you. The hottest coconut he'd saw, he'd fuck it. No offense. No offense, all offense. All jokes, but for real. I mean, if he saw a hot tree, he's going to hump it. Okay? It just... Lady. There's something else.
Positive, and he was so grateful and all these things. But then,
when she's like, I helped him so much with his life, and it was positive, and I really wanted to help him, and I helped him. You're not his mother. You're not his teacher. You're supposed to be his partner in life. You're not supposed to fix everything for him and wipe his ass. What did he bring to the table? You're not his mom. You're not supposed to raise him. And even his mom, she's done enough too. Like, there comes a point when are you going to allow these baby men to grow up and to have to face the consequences for their action and to call their asses out? It feels like never.
I realized I wasn't getting the same back, and I wasn't able to get the same amount of love and support back. And I had to ask for a lot of that. And he would give it to me, but I realized that I had to really weigh the pros and cons. And to this day, if it was me and Schwartz on an island somewhere, I would be so happy because he wouldn't have his phone and he wouldn't be on a TV show.
Yeah.
He's such a good person. It's just a matter of where he's at in his life. And I hope that he's doing great. And I also, I'm not a person to get mad at people for treating me poorly. I'm a person that's just going to work on myself and make sure that I can just talk to my friends and talk to them about my things that I'm having going on in my life.
Joe, it's okay to be angry. You're angry. You're definitely angry. The way you're talking on these podcasts, you're angry. We can feel the anger. We can feel the resentment. You can feel the passive aggressive just seeping through. You're angry. So don't quit trying to be, I'm so cool. I'm the coolest. I don't even get mad at people. When people fuck me over, like if someone stabs me, I don't get mad. I don't get angry at them. I just keep it moving. I just tell a friend like, hey, I've been stabbed. Am I bleeding out? Am I going to make it? And then they tell me, but I definitely don't want them. I'm always like, that person who stabbed me is such a good person. They miss the heart. by inches, so they clearly didn't mean it. It's just, it's the same thing. If someone comes up and shoot me, I'm like, I'm not gonna get mad about it. I'm just gonna, bleed out for a little bit, call a friend, do some meditation, maybe a little yoga. Everything will be fine. This is an episode of Snapped waiting to happen. I am terrified.
I get through it on my own, and I just think that should have been. Yeah, I will, and I think that should have been given to me as well. No one gave that grace to me though, so. And no one gave that to you either. So.
She's mad.
Yeah.
Well, we're resilient. We're
Yeah.
sticking with it.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
It was, from what I witnessed, playing Angry Birds. But which, by the way, I was there from the chunk of time that I was on, and then I had to wait like 6 hours, and then I had to go back to the cheersing with a sandwich.
Gosh.
So the 6 hours in between, I was like playing Angry Birds. But there is a camera and a video thing that you can watch as you're in the green room. And I didn't see anything because people were in and out and I wasn't watching much of it. But it was, from what I witnessed, I should have watched more. Man, I'm just the worst. I was like going outside and so sorry. Yeah, rumblings.
Well, from what you saw, what was the dynamic between Lala, Sheena, and Ariana?
Ariana said nothing to me. Katie wouldn't, whatever.
Why should she?
See, I don't even know their dynamic well enough to even know. I mean, it just seemed that Lala was very...
You were at her house for Thanksgiving. How do you not know the dynamic of the friend group?
Matter of fact, and she was really calling out people, and she was calling out moments with Sheena, and she was calling out moments even with Katie, and she was calling out moments with Ariana, and it felt like that was kind of to be honest with you, why wouldn't you, do it in a nice, concise way? There wasn't any, again, when I was out there, it was more of let's talk about Joe. And so I was just oh, crap. So I didn't really get to see much of their dynamic. Yeah, because I decided that I wasn't going to really watch behind the scenes.
I'm assuming that I was a topic of conversation.
You were a massive topic of conversation. I almost wanted to drag out a chair at one point.
Oh my God, did you hear Rachel? She's like, I was assuming I was a topic of conversation. Was Ariana still mad? Rachel she still has the biggest hate boner for Ariana, to the point where she included her in this revenge porn lawsuit, which should solely be going to Tom Sandoval, the one who recorded her fingering on the FaceTime without her consent, not Ariana, who found it on the phone. And might have sent her a screenshot and been like, yeah, bitch, I don't trust you anymore. These women have so much work to do. The minute I think maybe they're growing, maybe they're doing, no.
And
no.
put your little face on it and
No.
put Raquel next to I was like, is this a joke? But I couldn't tell anybody because Sheena was on my left and Schwartz was on my right. And I was like, in my mind, I think I giggled to Schwartz. I was like, we should bring out a blanket, just an empty chair and put Raquel's face. And he was like, he was all for it,
Yeah.
And then Andy was like, and Joe, let's talk about you again. I'm like, oh yes.
Oh yes, I'm here.
I'm here. Yeah, no, it really was. It was like, oh my God, we need to move on.
We do. It's wild. It's wild.
I mean, it's not even on the reunion on the show. I mean, it's just on the internet I mean, it's just you can't catch a break.
Yeah.
You just cannot catch a break. Even if you want to eliminate yourself completely from everything, you still are getting torn into this and dragged into this. And I really applaud you for taking your platform and making it a positive thing, because being here right now is really cathartic and positive for me. And I'm just so proud of you.
Count how many times they say positive and then drink, and whatever you're drinking will poison you. It's really positive, and you're really positive. We're so positive, and you just can't catch a break. Those kind of things happen when you have sex and a affair for a long time with your friend's life partner in their home, and you lie and you on camera go, I just feel like if you're in a relationship, you should want to have sex. And then you don't come back to the show, not because of your mental health, but because allegedly you wanted more money and you wanted a production deal with Bravo for maybe, something in the future, near or far, for yourself, or there'd be a one-off thing, or a, kind of like what we've seen housewives get previously. And Bravo was like, no. And then you were like, I'm not coming back. Ugh.
So, unfortunately, you're going to be the topic of conversation for a couple more months, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
15 months of shame.
Yeah. I know. It's like you're not even on the show anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so you're not close with Katie. Duh. You're not.
No.
You're not talking Schwartz. You and Tom Sandoval.
I still really care about him. We'll text here and there, but I don't have anything.
Oh my God, these women are even bad friends to each other. You still really care about him after how he treated, how Rachel is now coming to terms with the fact that Tom never really cared about her. He just was like banging her because she was young and hot and he was going through a midlife crisis. And then when she wanted to get like mental health help, he was like, "You're being so selfish." And he thought of her like a brand. All these things that she's now saying that he love bombed her, lied to her, tried to control her. And you're like, I really like him. They're even bad friends to each other. Oh my God. It's what they deserve.
So besides
She's going to be trying to bang Sandoval
Obviously,
next.
Sheena just wants to take off your hat at all times, so we're not friends with her.
well, I'm not friends with really. Okay, so friends is a general term for me for sure.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
What
Thank you.
is friendship? Okay.
Friendship-
Yeah. What is friendship
get
on this
there.
show? Because what?
Yeah. I don't know
anyway.
how you did this. I mean, I was very,
I know.
very. It was a conundrum for my brain. I was like very confused all the time. Listen, I was like, oh wait, I thought nope. Oh what? Yes. Okay. Together. Nope. Not what?
Yeah. I mean, Joe is sitting there being like, oh my God, I love Tom Sandoval. He's such a great guy. While your friend who you're talking to, who you say I love, you're so close to, is suing him for revenge porn. I would say anyone who does revenge porn is probably the worst of the worst kind of person. Someone who would take that intimate moment without your consent, where it can be distributed, where it could be used for any way possible, is a really sick individual. This is the thing with Joe. She's so inauthentic. She wants to be like, I'm so authentic. I wear hats. I'm just like, oh, this is me. Ah, I'm a velociraptor. Ah, these things just come into my mind. But you're not. You like literally stand for nothing but yourself in the Schwartz relationship. And Rachel, I don't know if it's because you're the same way that you're not picking up on this. You're like, yeah, girl, whatever. I would still hang out with Schwartz. Like, I don't even care that he hurt your feelings. It's really sad.
Yeah. What about Allie? Because you guys had a
About
moment where
Alice?
you got drinks and
Yes.
she was asking about
Good
your
morning,
relationship
Amy.
with Schwartz.
Yes. And she was asking me about like what I thought of him, and I said, look, I really think that I was like, Allie, look, I think that I really can see Tom Schwartz being somebody very similar to like my dad, because I mean, for me personally, I have a great dad, and every girl wants to have a person in their life as a partner that's similar to their father.
If you've had a good father.
Yes. And I told her that, and she agreed. And then I think it got misconstrued because at some point somebody said later at Hotel Ziggy, oh, you have sex with your dad or something. And like, I don't really want to like,
What?
that was like really messed up.
What was said was,
It was, thank you.
What?
Yes. Good call.
Schwartz.
Yes.
You said Schwartz reminds me of my dad.
Yes.
And then it was like
Yes.
misconstrued
Yes.
to like
Yes.
it's something incestual.
These are 5 women that don't.
Well, I think that's gross. Is she about to say these are 5 women who don't have dads? Please tell me she's not going to say that. She's not going to say that, right? I just stopped and I was like, ugh. I'm sorry. The brother sister thing is creepy. And when you say it's like my dad, you can say your partner has like, you have nice qualities, like some qualities of my dad who was a hard worker or this or that. But it's okay. Let's see what she's going to say. I hope she doesn't say that.
That was like really messed up.
What was said was,
It was, thank you. Yes. Good call.
Schwartz.
Yes.
You said Schwartz reminds me of my dad.
Yes.
And then it was like
Yes.
misconstrued
Yes.
to like
Yes.
it's something incestual.
These are 5 women that don't even know me as well. So it was nice that Allie had dinner or, drinks with me and had done
Okay,
my
good.
reading. But for
So
somebody
glad.
to relay that information to 5 people around a table at Hotel Ziggy and then speak on behalf of like me, and I'm not even located. I'm in the corner plugging my ears.
Yes.
So at that point, I didn't take it to heart because I don't know these people well enough to care about what they say. And
I think she meant incestuous. He rule, but I rule, but Rachel, it's very frustrating and incestual.
I think that Allie was kind of like, just, she just kind of said it. And I didn't have a problem with her. What I had a problem with was the afterwards where Katie was talking about making me uncomfortable. I mean, I already was uncomfortable. And I just think that we should all date somebody like our dad if like our dads are like lovely humans. And yeah, what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? I felt like Allie was a little bit catty. It seemed like she kind of knew what she was doing with.
Ooh, Rachel is setting up Allie like, okay, Joe, I mean, you can be friends with her. You can think she was nice, but I feel like she was being a little bit catty. Rachel, you dirty little minx. How dare you?
I just think that we should all date somebody like our dad if like our dads are like lovely humans. And yeah, what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? I felt like Allie was a little bit catty. It seemed like she kind of knew what she was doing with interpreting it and like feeding it to the girls who were already talking crap about you.
See, here's where I have a problem with this. Talk is talk is talk is talk is talk. Okay. So there might have been a moment or a motive or subconsciously or consciously. I don't think she consciously tried to hurt me in that moment. I don't know. But I think that moments like that don't bother me as much as moments where people kind of like target you for being a certain way.
Allie owes you nothing. She didn't even know you. She was being nice to you and meeting with you so you would have someone in the cast to meet up with and hang out with and talk to. That's what she was doing. Okay? This, again, no one held a whatever to you and said, you have to do Vanderpump Rules. This is your choice as a 35-year-old woman to come on the show. It's no one's job to hold your hand through it, especially when you're coming under or coming in under such turbulence. Ellie was doing you a solid, and you can't even be grateful for that. And Rachel Raquel, she wants you to see Allie because Rachel is a little peanut butter and jelly, rather than directing her anger just on James, who she thinks moved on too fast. And she might have a point there for sure. But what did Allie do? Allie's now taking care of the dog you just ditched, Rachel Raquel. I don't care what you say. When you give up a family member like that and you don't even try, you guys didn't do any training for that dog. There's so many things that can be done before you're just like, ugh. Go back to the rescue.
Yeah, my dad wasn't happy about it, but we also all move on. And we also kind of, I think at the end of the day, what bothered me the most, if we can really talk about this, is at Hotel Ziggy, I was very uncomfortable. And the girls, and I'm not going to say Lala, and I'm not going to say Allie, I'm going to say Sheena, and I'm going to say Katie. I mean, my goodness, rat girl, I'm so glad that she's uncomfortable. You know, things like that.
Well, you move like a rat. I don't think she didn't mean it. People always want to attribute it to look. She's not saying you look like a rat. She's saying you move like a rat. You're a rat. You go off and a woman might tell you something, or you might be friends, and then you're a narc. You're a rat. You go leak it to the men. You're not a girl's girl. That's what you do. You sneak into people's spaces like that. That's what you did. You did some rat shit. It's like you're on Mob Wives or something. You did a little bit of rat shit. You know, you probably ratted out Katie. I mean, I've known girls like this. I've seen girls like you before, Joe. You move ratty. You probably were texting. You probably were on a girls' night. Not saying this happened to me, but it did. And I had a friend. Her name was Laura at the time. And I thought she was my friend. And I had just broken up with this douchebag who I should have stayed broken up with, but we got back together and stayed together way too long. And he was a cheater, a boozer, a user, and a loser. And we were having a girls' night, and I'm trying to get over this guy. And I find out later she's texting my ex-boyfriend. The whole night we're out. I'm in my 20s at the time, early 20s. The whole night we're out partying, who I'm talking to, which guys I'm dancing with, and narking me out. Joe gives me those vibes. Joe gives me Laura vibes. Yuck.
The ones that keep me up at night and think about, like, not that I care, but I do care.
You do
I care
care.
deeply about how somebody
Sneaking and geeking.
sees who I am, whether or not they're a friend or not a friend. I've just never been able to express this before until right now, and just say, look, even if you don't know the people that talk about you, you know, I wouldn't see it if they didn't have 1 million followers, to be honest. So I guess it's just a matter of like what you're doing, Raquel, is you're using your platform for positivity. I really just wish that would be the same thing for them as well. I just don't get it.
Where's the positivity? All you've done is put down Ariana, put down Katie, put down the other. Where's the positivity? The only positive thing is when she drags Tom Sandoval, which is too few and far between for my liking.
And I will say it again. They don't know me well enough to hate me. So benefit of the doubt.
I think the girls are now trying to say that you
No.
had a panic attack and
Yes.
that's why you left, which I don't think is accurate.
Yes, it's not accurate. So at Hotel Ziggy, that night I had a conversation with Schwartz on the way to the Hotel Ziggy, for James's, DJing thing. And I had gotten a phone call from, I believe it was my mom, and there was some family matters that had gone on. And
Right,
I told
Angela?
Schwartz not to say anything, and he didn't. And so I had already shown up very scared.
These people are damn tragedy pimps at this point. They always got someone was dying. I can't be held accountable. There was already something going on. Somebody was dying. Somebody was sick. Somebody was something. They just want to pimp out, whether it's their tragedy, someone else's tragedy, so they can't be held accountable for anything. I've heard this now from Schwartz. I hear it from her. We've heard it from Sandoval. It's just like shit happens. It's horrible. Life is really, really difficult and hard, and the most empathy for people going through stuff, but everyone's going through something. It's the same thing where Joe wants to carry this ADHD badge as like a thing where you can't ever say anything because it's an ADHD. She's weaponizing it. And it's gross. It's gross. I was going through something and I couldn't talk about it. Well, then don't film that night. I don't know what to tell you. But you can't be absolved of it. You don't just get to behave however you want just because you're going through shit. We're all going through shit. But like Ariana said, It's that trauma, and you put up a barrier because this shit can be traumatic. Life can be traumatic, and you don't want to bleed onto others. These are the type of people that they don't care. They want to bleed onto everybody, allegedly.
Very distraught, and I was hoping that everyone could get along, which I think that everybody should, unless you have a reason to not. And it just went.
I don't think everyone should get along. I don't think that that's a reasonable request in the world. Do I think everyone should be like fighting and mean to each other? No, but you don't have to get along, and you don't have to be positive about everybody. That's just not realistic. There are people who aren't going to fit in your world, aren't going to be good for you. You have to protect your own peace. You can't just let everybody in because you're like, I'm so positive. Then you're the toxicity, and you're going to, fuck people over like we're seeing here. Oh my God.
100%, 180 degrees the opposite.
Oh,
not even having a conversation with them. They
yes,
immediately
smash the like, please.
They just had it was almost like they already had like a reason to hate me without knowing me. And when you're there and you're sitting there and you're listening to all these other people like talking about you, and you just like, all you want to do is plug your ears and kind of go into like your own little shell and like just like not hear it. I mean, I didn't want to hear it. I had enough on my plate, and I just like don't have enough space in my brain to talk about that stuff and like think about that stuff. That's not true. So like let them go and talk crap about me. That's fine. But I'm gonna like do this, and I'm gonna like walk away, fight or flight. I'm gonna fly. And I did, and it might have cried. I can't.
But you made like a big scene. You were doing the most. Let's just be honest. That's the only way that you fit in this reality world, is that you were being so extra. You're like, just leave, just walk, just leave. Get out right now. It's the end of you and me. Just boo, boo. But you're like, oh, it was a lot. It was a lot, Joe.
And I'm a very passionate person. So I flew and I went, and I had to just get myself out of there. And it just doesn't make sense for me to stick around. What am I going to go do? Like tap Sheena on the shoulder and be like, hi, how are you again? Oh, can you stop talking bad about me? No, with those girls, they will gang up on you. I want to get the heck out. Yeah. It doesn't make sense for me to even give any type of energy. I want to give my energy to my dog. I want to give energy to, my mom at the time. I wanted to call my mom and get, so it was nice that Schwartz was very protective of me at the time.
Okay, like no offense, but imagine being her parents and you're still getting calls at 35. Not that I haven't called my parents for weird shit, because I have. But once I got to a certain age, I was like, okay, I'm not. They should get to retire. They shouldn't have to deal with all my shit. Constantly be like, Mom, it sounds like she's like, I just want to talk to my mom. I want to talk to my dad. I want to talk to my, and like, it just, maybe we want to just like let them fly. Once they're 35, we got to let them fly. I mean, if you have good relationships with your parents, obviously, me and Nana are besties, but there are times I want to pick up the phone and I'm like, I don't want to put that on Nana. That's my shit. I'm going to figure it out, because I don't want to just like spew on her, ruin her day, or make her worry. Why should I make her worry when I know I'm going to get through this? I have the tools. It seems like Joe doesn't have any tools to self-soothe or to, get through these things. She got called Mama and Dada.
But I will say that it was pretty obvious that they don't give anybody the benefit of the doubt.
It even seemed like Brock was
really kind. He was so kind. He came and he followed me. It was really nice. And even Jeremiah, the producer, came and he gave me a hug. It was really nice.
Yeah. Even Brock was like, Sheena,
with
the Joe bit.
Yes, stop.
Like,
Brock was like, stop.
Yeah. In the episode that we saw this week, we see you go with a group of friends.
Okay. I do want to say, though, I see some of you in the chat, like Amy May is saying, I'm terrible. I'm 32 and recently sober and super needy for my mom, so I can't judge. Listen, you are dealing with something right now with sobriety. It's a big deal. You are trying to get sober from a disease that, takes the lives of so many people. So you reach out to your mom, you do that shit. I'm talking about the stupid shit. Like, so reaching out to your mom and needing her during a time of sobriety or loss or something like that. But because the fuck boy you were trying to whatever with didn't work out, is not the place you should always be calling your mom. Because your mom's probably thinking, without saying it, stop fucking him. I don't think he deserves it. Like, find someone who is into you as you are to them. Like, let's get some self-esteem. Let's work on that. Let's get into some therapy. We can't meditate this shit away, even though meditation is very important. Yoga, all those things are beautiful. But I think maybe add some therapy onto it. So I think what you're saying, Amy May, is like a very serious thing that you need all the support you can. So never feel bad a day in your life when you really do. I didn't mean to downplay that, and I apologize. So I don't want people to think that I'm like, never call your parents, because I would be a hypocrite, because I definitely reach out to Nana. But there came a point in my life where I was like, okay, if I know I can figure it out on my own, let's say it's like a fight with someone, or I think someone's upset with me, or I think I said something I shouldn't, because sometimes in social situations, I can just like think too much about it. You know, it's kind of the ADHD thing. You like leave social situations, you're like, what are these people ever going to want to talk to me again? So those kind of insecurities, but you hopefully develop a way to kind of cope and deal with it, so you're not just like dumping on people all the time. But your friends and family are there for your support, especially when you're dealing with something like sobriety. And I know you didn't take offense to it. I just don't want to think that I just know I could have worded that better. And I know there's so many people, and I understand the journey of sobriety, and it is so, that's some real shit, not whatever this is they're talking about. That's real shit, that people lose their lives, So for them to be like, I wore a hat, and if she took it off, I would be embarrassed because my hair is greasy. Okay, build a bridge. I don't know. That is not serious in my life. With a fentanyl crisis going on, I could give two shits if your greasy hair gets dragged on TV, lady.
To the singles.
Okay,
party.
so in the episode this week, I end up doing Schwartz's hair blonde, and he invites me to the singles night, and I actually kind of invite myself, and he kind of goes, "Oh, okay."
What are the colored wristbands?
So colored wristbands are red means you're taken, green means that you're single, and then yellow means that you don't really know. Complicated.
Okay.
So on the way to the event, Schwartz and I were in the same Uber together, and of course we went together, and we were there in the mindset that we were going to go and support Sandoval, right? Because he's single. Sorry to bring, but at the moment, well, whatever. So it's like me and Schwartz, and I was like, I'll just tag along, right? In the car ride, Schwartz was like, yeah, I'm gonna do like a yellow or a red, and I was like, yeah, me too. And the second he slaps on that green wristband, I thought, I guess I'll slap on a green wristband as well.
Because when he said, I'm going to do yellow or red, that was off camera, correct?
Correct. It was on the way to the Uber, off camera, of course. And yes. And so we get there, and I'm thinking, oh, then I'm totally okay with this. We're just going to do, I kind of was a little bit irritated that he wanted to do like a yellow, but and not a red. But I was like, okay, well, whatever one it is, like, we'll just, go through the night and be fine. We're just here to support Sandoval and like be there for him in his single night. And so then at that moment, I remember sitting there, and he slaps on a green wristband, and I remember thinking, I just couldn't even believe it. And then I decided that I was going to slap on a green wristband as well, because I didn't really know how to navigate this. And then we all got up and we started mingling, and I had to go to the bathroom. And when I came back out, he was making out with somebody, but I didn't see it.
But he was like talking to this girl, and you saw him talking to her.
Yes, I saw him talking to her. She was trying to take his hat. The hat that she was trying to take off of his head in this episode was a very special hat that his dad had given him. And that's why I went in and I decided to be kind of like a mom, or like a little like bit of a protective person. And I said, look, Schwartz, are you sure that you want to give that hat away? And he was like, yeah, I got more in my storage unit. And I was like, no, you don't, because I knew that he didn't. And then he goes, well, can you give that back to me, to the girl? And I was like, I did my work, right? I did what I had to do. Whether or not he gets the hat back, okay. So then I walked away. What you don't see is that Schwartz and I go to the bar, and we were deciding to have a shot. And then I come back, and the girl's wearing the hat, and he's trying to get the hat back. And I'm like, well, I did what I did.
Yeah.
And I look at how he's very flirtatious, and he's wearing the green wristband, and I'm just putting two and two together, and I'm thinking, oh, no.
Yeah.
So I leave before he makes out with this girl.
So I fought the girl.
To go. And
hurry up.
I do the best way that I can, which is kindly say like, hey, I'll see you later. I left, and yeah, at the end of the day, I can only control my actions. It was tough to watch.
Yeah.
But then I found out later, months later, when I did my confessionals and interviews, they told me that he made out with somebody. I never knew that. He came home, and by home I mean his apartment, that night.
What are you talking about? In the episode, we see you roll up on them after they kiss. You're like, oh, really? Oh, wow. What in the tarnation? So what was that about? What was the tarnation? Does this lady just not realize that her things don't make sense? And yeah, this could have been an email, Joe. So I don't know. We have 5 minutes left. I think that's good. I think we saw that scene. So whatever she thinks happened, I didn't even know they made out. You rolled up like the mom picking the son up from a date. Like, we got to go, honey. I told you could be at roller skating for an hour. Now your girlfriend's tonguing you. Get in the car. I brought fruit roll-ups, okay? And some mouthwash. There's germs. Do you have herpes? What's going on? Oh, God. Do you even know this person? You don't even know if she brushes her teeth. Like, that's what you rolled up on him like. You were just like, give him the hat. That's your only hat. And he was like, no, I have like 72 more. Okay. And then you walked away. Like, it was really cringy. It was so cringy. These are so many red flags. Joe, this interview was not good. It was not good. There was a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of blaming women, so much internalized misogyny. I have to literally take a bath after this. I gotta wash that misogyny right off of my bod. Blame Tom Schwartz. He is the reason for the season. He is the problem. Never go against the women. Form friendships with women. Women will be there for you. They will cradle you in their womb of warmth and friendship, when the men will just use you and say, I'm not ready for anything, and then get with a 23-year-old and talk like, oh, we have so much in common and she's so gregarious and wonderful. We got through it, you guys. We did it. We did it. Roast and recap. Don't forget to smash that like on your way out. You guys have been fantastic. We had a fun Thursday late night live. I'll be back tomorrow. I do want to do a no offense, all offense, because there's so many things I want to talk about regarding the Bravo TV stuff, Vanderpump things, some Big Brother drama. If you guys follow me for that, has come up. So I definitely want to do that tomorrow. And I know we got to get a Valley recap. I'm going to finish the episode and then we'll get that going. But shout out to all my super chatters today. You guys killed it. DM, thank you. Chickenhead PK Neely, Steven, Zesty, Jen, Noel, 2013, Amy Seeks Truth, Chickenhead again, Pamela B, Mtronics, Chickenhead. I love that Chickenhead says, I call him Teabags. Steven, thank you so much. Steven, I've never even said your last name, but is your last name Holla? Hola. I don't know. I just wanted to say, be like, Steven, holla. A Callus, thank you so much. I think I missed a couple of these, so I'll read them right now at 9:19. Oh my God, I missed these a while ago. I'm sorry. I just get to the blah, blah, but A Callus, thank you so much. And thank you again. I got another one here from you that says, can we just admit that the law? Oh, wait, no, we did get to that one. Thank you. Amy May, thank you so much for the super chat, saying thank you for your content being my little depression cure. Well, I am so glad we can all be here for each other, especially during these trying times of Vanderpump Rules. And I will always do my best to make you guys laugh, because you're wonderful, beautiful pumpkin spice babies and you all deserve the world. And I hope no Toms ever enter your life and try to fuck it up. Thank you, Pamela B. Thank you, Irrelevant. Irrelevant photons. Have a coffee on me. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I love your name and eye roll. Thanks for listening. So I don't have to, you guys. You're wonderful. Jill Christine, we missed you, but we'll see you on the replay. Please comment after the video post. Shout out to all my members. Shout out to those of you who hit me up on the Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. Shout out to my Patreon supporters and my wonderful mods, as I just dropped my lipstick. You're all great. I appreciate you so much. This was fun. You're hilarious. I got to go take a bath and give these dogs a treat. But like I always say, enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Oh, and if you haven't followed me on social media, follow me at Joleen Lunzer on Instagram, TikTok, and at No Offense, All Offense. Okay, bye.
If you like what you see.